Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to an impromptu breaking news, if you will, podcast. I said I shined a light up in the sky. Wait a minute, that's Batman. No, I put a spider symbol up in the sky. I said to my spider friends, we got to go live. We got to talk about this. So I got Kelly on the line. We got Kelly. What's up,
guys.
Kelly?
Nothing much.
Nothing much. This is the quickest turnaround of a podcast ever, isn't it? So I kept shining my light in the sky for spider friends, and I got Dark Mark in the house. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
And
Not the
thanks
shortest turnaround for me. What was it? Last week you were like 30 minutes. Hey, could you come on?
Yeah.
Review a book?
You're in case of emergency, you're like an action figure in a glass, and I break you and I take you out of the packaging. You instantly lose value by being on this show because you're out of the box. Another spider friend I asked to come on is Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, yes, I'm actually here, and I'm like another comic book character. I show up when I'm least expected. So
yeah, we'll just call you Ben. Okay. And we have Tyler. What's going on, Tyler? How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Check out your friend over there. Nice Marvel legend MODOK.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. Love it.
Wow.
And we're going to have some other spider friends come on throughout this show. In case you've been under a rock, it's a big day for Spider-Man news. They announced the new creative team of Amazing Spider-Man. So let me pull up the Crawlspace, and I will go over the press release and get everyone's take on it. So we've had Nick Spencer maybe twice a month. And now we're going to have multiple creative teams. So let me pull this up. So Marvel sent out the press release, I think about 1 o'clock this afternoon, because I got it on the site pretty quick. So new team of writers take Spider-Man Beyond Your Wildest Expectations in ASM number 75. Didn't Ben Reilly die in 75? About 30 years ago. Anyway, Zeb Wells, Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziglar, and Patrick Gleason bring you a new wave of Amazing Spider-Man this October. A bold new age of Spider-Man is on the horizon. Starting in October, Amazing Spider-Man will return with a story so bombastic that it will take the greatest team of web writers and arachnid artists ever assembled to tell it. Kelly Thompson, Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziglar, Patrick Gleason, and Zeb Wells will team up on the thrice monthly, 3 times if you don't know what that means, to shake up the Spider-Man mythos in ways no one will see coming. The saga will kick off in ASM 75, where Ben Reilly will return to take back the mantle of Spider-Man, backed by the Beyond Corporation. The captivating clone of Peter Parker is determined to be the best version of Spider-Man there ever was, and as yesterday's teasers showed, this could have fatal consequences for Peter Parker. Nick Lowe is quoted as saying, the whole point of working on Spider-Man is trying to put new unliftable weights on top of him, physical, metaphysically, emotional, pathological, psychologically, and seeing if he can lift it. But, I'm getting the Ditko reference. Okay, I see we did that. But what if that weight truly is too heavy? What if someone with the exact same skills and formative years who was introduced 30 years ago, no, I just introduced that, Ben Reilly is back. And with Aunt May and Uncle Ben's lessons in the back of his head, or mind as well, he's here to step in where Peter Parker failed. Can he accomplish things the original Spider-Man never could? Like make a book last more than 25 issues? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. These questions are what sold me on the story, says Nick Lowe. When Zeb Wells started building this story, it became apparent that it needed a narrative velocity and a team of the best to make it do what it do. So I don't want to read too much of this because you guys can read this. I've gone way too much into it. So let's go around the horn of the panel that we have on right now. Kelly, instant thoughts when you heard this news.
I'm excited to see what Kelly Thompson can do because I actually really enjoy her writing. I think she was recently on that Deadpool that I read a few issues of
for Satellites,
on Satellites, and I enjoyed it a lot. But are they gonna honor and acknowledge the original writers of the Clone Saga for this as well? Because I feel like they're kind of taking a lot from that 90s point, which there might be a reason for, and that might be cool.
Right.
I'm just very ambivalent, and I just feel like it's slightly slighting the original creators and the original writers of that Clone Saga, because they're basically saying, oh, but we can do it better. And I don't think that that's going to be true.
And this is, how many times have we gone to the well? This is a story that was introduced in the 70s, reintroduced in the 90s. Dan Slott did it in the 2000s or 2010s. And now we're in the 2020s. We're still talking about clones. I mean, it's something that's been done several times. And also Spider-Man being replaced has been done several times. And I don't want to come across as, because I'm a 40-year-old, I've been collecting for 40 years, and I've pretty much seen it all. But there's a new generation that comes to it, and they haven't been through 4 or 5 Clone Sagas.
Look,
but,
Brad, the 90s nostalgia is back. We have Extreme Carnage, Dark Hawk, X-Men Inferno, Ben Reilly Spider-Man, Heroes Reborn. 90s nostalgia, I guess.
It is, man. Well, the people in charge of the books now, probably a lot of them grew up reading these 90s comics, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Here, I'll look the part.
Oh yeah, get your jean jacket going. Yeah, look at you.
But yeah, no, like the issue at hand has not been coming back or even like what's being planned. I have an issue with like the name Spider-Man Beyond, because even the font made me think of Batman Beyond, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, literally when I first saw it, I was like, okay, is this going to be like a side book where y'all are jumping to the future? Yeah. Oh no, this is this. Font. What the heck is going on here?
That font you're talking about right there?
Yeah, it looks like the newer Batman Beyond font for WB for their comic line. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we heard Kelly's 2 cents. Let's hear Mark's 2 cents. When you heard this news, what did you think?
I was really kind of disheartened that the 3 times a month, thinking about reviewing 3 times a month.
So you were about your self-preservation and mental health.
Yeah,
you were concerned about.
Peter and I might have to keep that alternating reviews going. But I wasn't thrilled at first when I saw the cast of writers. And I was a little confused about how many of them there were. I didn't know at first if this was going to be like the Brain Trust, or if this was going to be practically Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Sensational Spider-Man, all under the title Amazing, and they just run in their own stories, or what. But after spending some time digesting it today and looking into it, I'm a little bit more optimistic, but I'm not extremely hopeful.
Right. B. Rich in the house from my home state of Missouri, Kansas City. What's up, B. Rich? Let's see. We've got Sam saying hello. Adam going, woo. You're singing the opening song. I lowered the volume. Hopefully I didn't scare any animals or small mammals. Adam says, so Ben Reilly is back. It does look like that, Adam. Here are some of the images. And if you look right there, he looks a little older, doesn't he?
He's got definitely sporting peach fuzz.
Yeah, he's got peach fuzz. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even a soul patch. It looks like.
Yeah, he does right there. Yeah.
I like that he's blonde again.
Yeah.
Wasn't he blonde in his solo book? Or did he dye his hair brown?
He remember he didn't. He always dyed his hair. It was always dyed in blonde. He had his original brown locks when he became Ben 27 during Clone Conspiracy.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Technically, the term is bleaching.
Yes.
Bleach.
Yes. He bleached the flower. Let's. Sam goes, yes. Let's talk about it. Jose in the house. What's going on, man? Ryan. Hello, Kelly. Greg, again, another brother from Missouri. Greg, what's up, man? How are you, buddy? Heroing, hey, Michael Reed, hello. Vinkman in the house, what's going on, man? Hello, all you webheads, says Matt. Hello, sir. Adam is not too excited about Zeb Wells. I'm not excited for any of this, says Michael Reed. Caleb says, love Kelly Thompson. I'll miss Nick Spencer, but I'm excited for this. Much love, guys.
See, I'm excited for I actually don't mind the writers. I'm excited to see what they can do. I just don't like this idea.
Yeah. Adam says, so brand new day all over again. It does sound similar to 2.0.
Once more with feeling.
Spider-Man Beyond, BND, says Michael Reed. That's pretty cool. Adam says, I thought it was someone else, but it's really Ben Reilly. Sheesh. WTF. This seems like a bit sudden to have Ben come in. Okay, Sam. Don't want to put that comment up, Adam. Michael Reed says, yeah, it's weird to bring Ben in, especially last time we saw him in Amazing. He was a psycho. Going back to Zeb Wells. Yes, he was part of the original Brand New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who the fuck is that? Okay. All right. So we heard from Mark. I'll put some more comments up on the screen as we talk. Tyler, your thoughts when you heard about this news today?
I was like, what? And it's weird because overall, I find myself kind of weirdly optimistic about the whole thing, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah.
And it's like I know there's been concerns and whatnot about like some of the wording and whatnot, and I do understand that, but no, I do like Ben. I'm a guy who likes clones, Ben and Kane. I like Kane more than I like Ben, but I mean I still like Ben, and I'm very curious to see how this is going to go down, and I think what would really affect my perception of this is going to be how Nick Spencer ends his run and how this picks up off of that.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. What's your guesses, Tyler? What's going to happen? Best case scenario, worst case scenario? What happens?
I think the end of Nick Spencer's run is going to have him being engaged to Mary Jane. I think she's going to say yes, and then I think something is going to happen to Peter. He won't die. There's no way they're killing him off right after that, or killing him off. But I think he's maybe going to get majorly injured or something. Or I know some people have been speculating something will happen to Aunt May because it's mentioned some sort of failure of him that happens, and then Ben just somehow comes back with the Beyond Corporation of all things, and kicks things off from there. So
I have a conspiracy because it just
go
popped
ahead.
in my head. What if the failure is depending on what happens? So like obviously, like I think we've pretty much kind of we're hoping that Mary Jane and Peter figure out about the deal and are remembered about the deal. What if the failure is him realizing that and then therefore killing like all of his self-confidence in himself? Because if he was able to make that kind of choice and make a deal with the devil, clearly maybe he doesn't feel like he's the right fit for Spider-Man at the point, and then that might be how we start this. I don't know.
What is Mike doing? He's pointing at Kelly.
I'm pointing at you because that is exactly what I think is going to happen. And I think Kindred is going to be the one who tells him this. And that's going to be, and then if you really wanted to go for the emotional coup de grace, he goes, oh, here, let me balance the scales. And then he kills Aunt May. And there you have your Peter being beat up after during Sinister War, having there's physical, emotional, psychological, metaphysical, all those things that Nick Lowe purposely chose for that statement. There's no getting around that he chose metaphysical there. I mean, it's like what has been going on in the past?
Are we leading up? That was a question I had. Are we leading up to 900? And do we get another creative team, or is this a bridge?
Well,
is this
funny
a
you
bridge?
should
Do you
mention
think?
that. Funny you should mention that, Brad, because I did the math on this.
Okay,
a little brief math thing. So this thing starts in October. Yes. October of 2021, and it's going to be 3 times a month. The way it works out is this: Amazing Spider-Man 900 comes out in June of 2022.
Okay.
And what is June of 2022?
60th anniversary of Spider-Man.
Yes. Guess when Peter Parker is going to come back as Spider-Man?
On his 60th anniversary. Why not?
And that makes perfect sense. Not to mention too, December 2022 will be Spider-Verse, so also expect another Spider-Verse title. It won't be going away. He'll just get his own thing. Yeah.
So I think chat agrees with Kelly and Mike's theories. They strongly disagree with Dark Mark and Tyler. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So, do you think one writer is coming in the future? Is that what everybody thinks, or is this the long-term plan?
This is Zeb Wells' show all the way. The other ones like Kelly Thompson.
Wait a minute. You think Zeb Wells gets it after 900?
Oh yeah, this is
really.
I believe
so. You think Zeb Wells is the Dan Slott of this Brand New Day group? of the
Oh,
Beyond.
absolutely.
Oh, no.
Because if you look at the way the setup is, it talks about specifically about this is Zeb Wells' pitch and how they this. Oh, we brought in all these other writers. So if you look at Kelly Thompson again, Kelly Thompson has some credibility with Captain Marvel and all this other stuff. You then have, but she's probably, but I think she's got some other things in lineup. Then you got Saladin Ahmed, who of course we've seen him do on Miles Morales' Spider-Man. Also, he's been known author and everything, but he's still talking about plans with Miles. So I don't think he's going to be on this thing, rotating thing for very long. He'll might do a couple story arcs, and then you've got, and then you have, let's see, you've got where's this other guy's name? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name here.
Oh, I got him. His name
Cody Ziglar. Now, Cody Ziglar, for those of you who don't know, is that he's got a pedigree thing. He's been doing like comedy series. He's got a webcast and everything like this.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be the he's going to be the I mentioned the guy who was from the Brain Trust that was only on for like one arc.
Zeb Wells?
No,
Bob Gale.
He's the Bob Gale of the group.
Okay.
You know why you can tell that? Because he's committed. They've said that he's a new writer, relatively new writer, but he's got stuff for She-Hulk, and he's also going to be doing the Rick and Morty stuff.
Right.
So guess what? That means that he's got time commitments. So I imagine he's only going to do one story arc in this thing.
Right.
Yeah. Or maybe at best. Because again, this works out to be like the next 25 issues. Every single one is going to be like, could be like 3-issue mini arcs. And you got Zeb Wells, I'm sure is going to do the majority of them. Then you got Kelly Thompson maybe doing a couple, and Ahmed's going to do maybe a couple, and then you've got Ziegler's does the one, because you got to have somebody with some Hollywood cred in there. Right. And then issue 900 will be written by Wells, with probably a few guest writers that come in, fill in some backup issues.
I'm really shocked, because we talked about this on news last weekend, that John Romita Jr. wasn't part of this announcement.
No. Well,
really
Patrick Gleason, I doubt he's going to be doing all of the art, because we're talking about 25.
He's going to be a writer on this
times a week. I mean, I don't know if
that is true. We only have one artist named on this, don't we? Yeah.
He's not being named as the artist. He's being named as a writer.
Yeah, he's doing. Okay, that's right. He's doing writer.
That doesn't make sense. They put out preview art by him
for the free comic book day.
He's being listed as a writer on this, and he was a writer.
I didn't see that in the press release.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
but I doubt he's going to be the sole artist on this thing. I think they just put the name out because writer artist thing like this. So you expect to probably maybe put in some other, because there's no way I don't think he can put in a 3 times a month book.
Here, real quick, we have a super chat. Thank you, Steve. Writers are kind of meh, but I'm cautiously hyped. Okay, cool, Steve. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Adam also says 25-issue mega art, kind of like Spencer.
So
for that, Adam.
Yeah.
Vinkman says Kelly and Mike's theories are a lot better than mine. What if Peter dies in ASM 75 as some kind of penance for the deal with the devil, and he's got to stay dead until 900?
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. I don't think they're going to beat that. I mean, even though it looks bad, I don't think that'd be kind of ridiculous to kill Peter Parker off again.
Peter has a history of throwing the suit in the trash can and walking away for a period of time.
Yeah,
and absolutely. I bet from 875 to 900, he's going to do that.
Yep.
I want to get some reactions of you guys from these preview images that came out over the last couple of days. Kelly said that looks like the Batman Beyond logo.
A little bit.
Beyond Corporation logo. Yeah. I didn't realize that they existed ahead of time.
Me neither. I've never heard of them.
Somebody
Neil
on the front page.
I did as well.
Well, here's the thing. I don't blame anybody for not recognizing what the Beyond Corporation is, because if the only people who really know are really Wikipedia at this point. Well,
Next Wave fans, come on!
Yeah, I know.
There's something in the Marvel database here about the Beyond Corporation. It's a collective of beings who embody the wild spaces beyond reality, while the other entities from the outside want to study and even preserve the multiverse population. The Beyond Corporation can only play with them and have fun.
Yeah,
so they're basically interdimensional tourists.
Because if you've ever read Next Wave is a very wacky comic where they're making fun of Fin Fang Foom wearing pants. There's a baby MODOK, devil dinosaurs wearing like a cardigan. It's all very wacky, and the Beyond Corporation was basically the explanation behind it, why everything's so wacky. It's just they're sort of just weird interdimensional beings that are just like toying with people and like changing their memories and all that. And so like that was explanation for that. And like I remember they brought it up again in, I think Ewing brought it up in Mighty Avengers, I want to say, with Monica, and she's like, everybody thought we were crazy for talking about this, but no, the Beyond Corporation was behind it all. And so I'm very interested to see where they're going with this.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird that they put in there that they're backing Ben Reilly in this endeavor. And I'm like, so it might just be basically a long what if arc that's actually in actual continuity, because they can do anything they want to with Ben that they can't do with Peter.
Well, as I wrote in the Discord, what this sounds a lot like is like, okay, basically, if you're reading the in between the lines of their the Marvel's little pitch, it's like, so what if we took Brand New Day, the Clone Saga, and Superior Spider-Man, and made a big giant pizza out of it? Because we at Marvel love our pizza analogy, right?
That is a pretty good recipe of what they're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, very much.
Brand New Day. What did you say? Brand New Day,
Brand New Day, Clone Saga, and Superior Spider-Man.
Superior replacing him. Yeah, I see.
Because it does talk about Ben Reilly trying to prove himself as the best Spider-Man, kind of like almost like he's trying to redeem himself.
Here we go. Eric wants to know: is this an alt universe Ben?
No.
Ooh, that's a good theory.
Well, if it's Beyond Corporation, that's an interesting.
Well, Ben did look a little old, didn't he? As opposed to the Ben that we just saw in Iron Man. He was with the Legion of Losers or whatever that group was called.
I just don't know if I can see them bringing in another Ben while we still have a Ben.
Ben 28.
He will be Ben 28 because he got killed in Spider-Geddon and brought back to life. So.
And he says, I'm all better now. I'm not evil. I'm fine.
Well, I mean, too, this also is almost a little bit of that kind of Into the Spider-Verse situation where we had our broken down Peter and the Peter that never does wrong, and that was also blonde for some reason. So there's, like I said, I don't really know what they're doing yet, and we don't know how this is going to end. So I don't want to I don't want to sit there and already judge this. But I have a lot of reservations because it does feel like stuff we've done before.
Right.
And I think the main issue here is it's just Marvel has done this to us so many times, saying, you'll love this. Look at this new thing we're doing. It's so great. You're going to love it. But they're not going back to the heart of the story or the heart of the character, which is something we all enjoyed with Nick Spencer.
Yeah.
I know JR. I know JR isn't here, so I feel like I have to make a Star Trek analogy. It's like an old joke that I saw one time where Captain Kirk is basically narrating the opening of Star Trek, and he's like, would you go where no one has boldly gone before? And then they land on the planet, and he goes, "Damn, we've been here before."
So Mary, thanks for watching. She says, "I hope they retcon the clone conspiracy. That story was just blah." Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Mary.
Well, I think that kind of got retconned with the Spider-Geddon. Because like Ben gets eaten by Genix. Genix goes crazy because he experiences all of 27 deaths. And Otto brings Ben back, and he's been cured of all of his mind problems. And he's like, oh, clean slate. I'm all back to good now.
Yeah, but again, I think this is where Ben Reilly is the new Superior Spider-Man thing kind of kicks in, is because I think because of what happened in Clone Conspiracy, he kind of feels like, oh, I have to redeem myself somehow for all the stuff that I've done. He says, okay, I'm going to go be Spider-Man if Peter's out of commission somehow, and I'll take his place, and then I get to prove myself. And and so I guess, and of course, the whole point of this, I think, is going to be like, well, even though the literal clone of Spider-Man isn't necessarily Spider-Man, I think that's kind of what they're trying to go with the angle for this a little bit. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, reaction to this picture. A lot of people are noticing that ring. Some people have said that maybe the photo is inverted. Maybe that is her left finger, because if you're married, you got it on your left.
I mean,
so that looks like her right hand.
On the right hand for engaged.
It's engagement ring. Yeah.
Okay. So you think it's an engagement ring? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And I think this is, and I don't want to, and I know some sites have sleeped on the fact, oh gosh, Peter Parker's dying again. I don't think I think it could be very possible that he gets so injured as a result of what happens during Sinister War that he feels like I have to convalesce, and that of course he's got to have the full doubts and stuff. So
yeah.
Or it's the Into the Spider-Verse blonde Spidey because we don't see his hair here.
It's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan says no set charm is glowing. Any significance to that, you guys think?
Well, the spider symbol on the new suit is it's right over the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So synergy.
Don't
The
like
what?
Don't like the off-center suit. I don't like the symbol being off-center. It really annoys me.
We'll see it later or something. Especially if you look at
We started talking about Mary Jane and this guy showed up. What's up, Chi-Town?
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Reactions to this picture, Peter. What do you think?
Oh, man. Well, I think, Peter's had a hard day, and Mary Jane is doing exactly, the supporter man after a very hard day. So, after hearing about this news recently, he's kind of beat up about it. So he's going to, take words.
So your reaction, Peter, when you heard this news?
Well, Brian, I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to make sure that I was completely ready. So just let me get in my newest cosplay right here.
Here, you got full screen,
right,
man.
so,
I'll give it to you.
First thing we got to do, Brad, is just get our Spider-Man apron on here.
Whoops! Hold on. Whoops! I lost him. Oh, hold on. Let me
He
put
looks
you
a
over
lot
here.
better that way, Brad.
Oh!
So we got the Spider-Man apron on, and of course, Brad, we can't really be a chef in the kitchen if we don't have a hat. So we got a nice little chef hat that doesn't really work well for my
Yeah.
So I got my little stupid hat there,
So you're cooking
and then I got
flour, don't
my I got a
You
mixing
know he
bowl.
Oh no!
And of course, the very I got my exclusive Ben Reilly action figure right here. I'm just gonna put it right in there. We're gonna start mixing. We're just gonna start mixing a whole bunch of stuff and flour flying everywhere. And
he turns into this.
Okay, but now where is Neil? Why are we not having a bake-off?
Oh,
cooking with Bodega Rider, right?
Oh, that'd be fun.
All right,
Bake
so
off.
my reaction to all this.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So many thoughts came through my mind, and I think the major thing is that we've tried this before after the Clone Saga, and the reason why it didn't work then is because we didn't have the internet, and two, it gave fans we've been reading a false Spider-Man now that you brought this Ben Reilly character in. So it didn't work out, went back to the default setting. And then we tried this again with Superior. Yeah. And that was kind of like Slack going with the Doctor Who type of thing, swapping minds. And that ended out badly as well. This one, however, may work because I don't think Peter's going to die. I think Peter and Mary Jane are just going to take a break from 875 all the way to 900.
They go into Portland again?
I don't know. Was it Portland or Pennsylvania? Mark, keep me honest here on this.
Portland, yeah.
They got wedding plans, all right? They got to start arranging. That takes a while.
Yeah, it does. It does take. And I think the wedding will happen in 900, just like I predicted it would happen when we started talking about issue number 1. And I don't know. I'm probably going to be the biggest critic in these 25 issues to find out what's going on. And what's the deal with doing this 3 times a month?
Money, baby. That's what it is.
It's because they want to get to 900 faster. That's what.
Yeah.
Like I told you on the Discord, Chi-Town, it's perfectly timed so they can work it out right that way.
Well, this goes back to the theory of Brand New Day and the fact that 3 amazing issues sell better than a web and a spec and an adjectiveless, and it ticks up the numbers. People that have been collecting as long as I have and you all have, they don't want to miss an issue of the run. They don't feel bad missing web 33 or spec 123 or whatever. So,
Brad,
Vinkman, thank you for real quick, Mark. Thank you for the super chat, Vinkman. I'm all for trying new and innovative ideas, but this sounds like it's been retreading old ideas that have all been done before. Yes, Vinkman. I think a lot of us agree with this. When we heard the news, we were like, "Oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, this sounds familiar."
It's like Brand New Day 2.0.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And I don't want to. And I think Kelly mentioned it. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or kind because these guys just got the dream job of comics to
Mhm.
write Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know. Is there a bigger job?
Batman,
Okay.
I guess.
Maybe
Yeah.
Batman?
But even
yeah.
think about this, like how many women writers have been on Spider-Man?
That's
Kelly
true.
Thompson, like it's very
Thank you.
rare.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, first off, congrats to these new writers and artists
Mhm.
for getting this gig, and congrats to I think the first female writer ever on Amazing Spider-Man.
I think there might have been the second. I don't know if there might have been one before.
There were some annuals written by women writers, but I
Mhm.
don't know
Okay.
about ASM
Yeah.
specifically.
I think Amazing Spider-Man is like the first time we've had like a regular female
Right.
writer on
Yeah.
on the title.
So congrats to the team for getting the gig. You were saying, Mark, go ahead.
So here's what happened. Spencer took 3 years to fix Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he said, there is no way that I am going to let them mess him up again. So he's going to end the story with Spider-Man having to go off to wherever it was, Portland, whatever. And in that way, nobody can mess with his little fix up. And they can do all they want to with the big, Ben Reilly, and they can kill him, and they can stretch him, and they can make him rich, and they can have Dr. Octopus play in his mind, and all the stuff they want to do. And then nobody's messed up Peter Parker. He's still in good condition.
You know what though? That's a good idea. Like that might be what they're thinking about doing, just because then that way they can do all their crazy, like it's almost clickbaity, like where they do something completely like just fantastic, but not in a good way. Fantastic, just like gotta have it
And then issue
bombastic.
900, Spencer comes back with Peter.
There you go. Maybe
This
Or-
does
Keep
kind of
track,
feel like
Mark.
filler to me.
As much as we want that, I don't think that's.
Yeah.
But I
But
do
what,
think
what if Kelly Thompson winds? What if maybe they do the brain trust and then after 900 it's Kelly Thompson?
maybe. I mean, but I do think that a lot of the reason why they're going to have Peter take a hiatus here and have Ben Reilly fill. If we're right about this, if Peter doesn't die, like maybe he gets severely, physically, metaphorically, emotionally, and psychologically, all this baggage falls over. He says, "That's it, I quit. Spider-Man, no more. Whatever number this is." That he'll have that this is going to be like a time for him. Like he's thinking, "Oh, I don't know if I should be Spider-Man. I think I failed." And he needs to have time to reflect, and then. Yeah. That's why you got Ben Reilly as the contrast here, as like, oh, this is,
Do you think Ben Reilly and Spidey are going to go head to head and fight, or do you think he willingly hands the mantle over and says, "Hey, I need to take some time. You're good enough. Go."
Make this like a Nightfall thing where basically Batman and Azrael go?
I haven't read Nightfall, but yeah. Do you think are they going to fight?
No.
That's an interesting thing.
I think it's going to be a mutual agreed thing where they let Ben take over, and then Kane's going to come in and punch Ben in the face. So I'm I definitely want to see Kane show up at some point.
He's always watching. He's watching right now.
And when was the last time he was an ASM?
Oh yeah, but as far as and you're right, and Tyler's got a good point because as far as Kane is concerned, Ben Reilly's still scum of the earth. Yeah. And so he's still going. He's probably going to have to go after him at some point.
Other than them punching Inheritor together in like one panel of Spider-Geddon, the last time that they saw each other, Ben stabbed Kane.
Well,
these things happen, right?
Steve wants to know where Ben is going to work. Is the grind still open?
Well, they said he's the Beyond Corporation. I think it's going to be like he's an employee for. He's basically like, he's their guy or whatever he is.
Sponsored Spider-Man.
Did you guys see the IGN article?
Yes, I did.
What they put on it?
Well, what they put on it is that Peter willingly hands this over, like he's trying to get his life back together with his schooling, trying to get a stable job, and now being engaged to Mary Jane. That's the theory. And he's handing it over to Ben Reilly, and Ben Reilly's going to be Spider-Man for a while with the help of this sudden Beyond Corporation that's going on. So.
Oh, Matt Murdock, not Daredevil, I suspect, is saying the Mad Dog Ward was Ann Nocenti. Is that right?
Yes, that was.
Yeah, there's your female writer. There it is.
I knew that she was involved in something.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was Ann Nocenti or not.
Yes, that's what followed up the Kraven's Last Hunt back in the 80s.
Yeah, but she was never a regular writer. That's
right.
That's true.
Yeah. And Kelly Thompson has briefly tackled Spider-Man before. She was one of the few writers who did the Full Circle thing. like the Red Robin sort of story.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, I have no issue with her writing. I'm very, like, to me, out of all the names, I was excited to see her because I think as long as she can capture the voice of the character, she's good. And and she knows how to, she knows how to capture a character's voice. And we know that she can handle Peter for the most part. So
Mary has a
widow was really good.
Yeah.
Mary has a comment, Brad. What's got me most worried is if George and JR will stay on after Spencer leaves. I remember JR mentioning it during the first part of Spencer's run. You mix in Zeb Wells writing Shed, and you throw in some clones. Those two boys aren't happy.
Yeah. George is also already. He's already kind of saying like, oh, this is like, this is one of his worst nightmares coming.
It is. And what I think brings those two fellas back, it brings them, I almost said what brings the boys to the yard, but that's not a good analogy. What, Mark?
Brad's milkshakes brings the
I think our crawl space friendship brings those two back. I think they enjoy discussing it, even if the comics is not their cup of tea.
Right.
And it's nice to have varying opinions because we know what those two fellows like and dislike. So hopefully it will balance. And very rarely are we all on the same page? Honestly.
Well, here's the thing. I think we are on the same page of one thing. I mean, I think Kelly Thompson, I think has got some, got some promise there. Also, Ahmed, we know what he's going to be like because we've read, if we read Miles Morales' series. I'm not sure about Ziglar because I never watched, some of his stuff. But the big thing is like, Zeb Wells to me is the one guy that I'm a little bit iffy about because, like you said, Brad, about Shed. I know it gets highly praised. I know there's like all these people take praise, but it was one of the most overrated train wrecks of a Spider-Man story in the past. Years.
And Chris Baccello's art did not help that.
No. Well, hopefully he's not anywhere near this this time.
Hopefully he's still on nonstop wherever that's going.
Well, if he wants to stop Ben and make Ben look ugly, that he might have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Adam, Fiona Avery co-wrote a few issues with JMS. Oh, I forgot about that, Adam. Yeah.
She did. Yeah. So we got a few.
Brad, I told you Shed was so bad, I thought it was a slot book.
I know, right?
Thinking about that, and then I remembered it was so bad, even Slot had to make fun of it because he had that story in the Horizon Lab where everybody got turned into lizards, and Spider-Man was like, why aren't they attacking? And somebody went, why would a lizard attack? They're really docile creatures.
Right, exactly. Shed was Shed was so bad that even months after it came out, they started trying to undo it. Because remember, Lizard after that story had like all those feathered things like Archaeopteryx, like the dinosaur thing. And how quickly did those disappear?
So to refresh on Shed, he killed his wife. No, his kid. He ate his kid.
His son. He ate his son.
He allegedly raped a lab assistant, right?
Well, it's iffy on that, but I mean, basically,
it was implied.
It was created a lizard. His new lizard powers was basically activating people's lizard brains, which made him basically sex-craved axe murderers, essentially.
Right.
And so there was some stuff going like their inhibitions. Then he ate his kid. He then had a thing where he basically started molting, and he had like feathers for hair or some point, like some weird like skin transformation thing. Oh, and he supposedly started talking for the first time, even though if you read previous lizard stories, he's talked the lizard before.
Didn't he talk in his first appearance? I mean, with Ditko?
Yeah, that's why you can kind of tell that Zeb
Steve
Wells
has a point. How you were thinking Zeb Wells is the last man standing. What if Kelly Thompson's the last woman standing?
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I would like to see it.
But I'm kind of thinking because Zeb Wells is supposedly the guy steering the ship that they're trying to groom.
How do we know that? What was that? How do you get that information? How do we know one is steering the ship?
I had that same feeling, Michael, from the way it was written. It does seem like they were throwing out the name.
I can read it to you right here. It says, when Zeb Wells started building the story, it became apparent that it needed a narrative velocity and a team of the best to make it happen. So.
Yep.
And then they gathered other writers from there. So it sounds like Zeb Wells built it.
Okay.
Yes, this is Zeb Wells' idea.
This could turn out to be something like the Brain Trust when they got they were done with that, they looked at it and they said, well, Dan Slott's the best writer of it. Let's give the gig to him. So they might not know who's going to take over in 900.
So maybe this is a
competition.
Yeah, a competition.
Yeah.
Whoever writes the best story gets the gig. It's
don't
like
think-
The Apprentice of Spider-Man.
But here's the thing: I don't think,
For
well, like I
Survivor.
said, I don't think Ziggler's going to get it. I think he's only on there for one arc because again, he's got She-Hulk commitments for doing the TV series.
So he's writing the She-Hulk series.
Yes, he's
show?
writing the She-Hulk TV series, which is a much better
And Rick and
gig.
Morty.
And
Rick and Morty. So he
is very much the Bob Dole. I mean Bob Gale.
Bob
Not Bob Dole.
And the Mark
Bob Dole.
Gutman, and the J.J. Abrams.
No,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
takes for
think
Nickelodeon
I
to
don't
be
think
upset.
he's. So I don't think he's J.J. Abrams by any means.
Yeah,
And-
don't insult the guy.
No,
And-
he's
Yeah, I have trust that if he's been on a Disney Plus show for the MCU,
right.
he knows he understands the subject.
Yeah,
Right.
He knows
And-
what to do.
The
He's
last
also,
time,
but he's go ahead.
the last time we got a writer from Rick and Morty, we got the Jeff Loveness on the Nova series that only lasted 7 issues, but I loved that
You did?
series and it was fantastic.
Is Amazing has one for Kelly. Maybe Peter loses his leg and becomes MC2 Spider Dad.
Sadly, I don't think that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But you never know, I guess. But I don't think he's losing his leg. If anything, I think we're kind of on the right page where he's beaten up and broken down and needs some time away.
Here, let me get
Right,
through these
yeah.
comments because they're coming in fast. Every Any 5000. I wish Jodie Hauser was part of the new Brain Trust. She wrote the second half of Renew Your Vows post Conway. She did an okay job.
She did.
Power Packer says they won't fight, just reboot Scarlet Spider. Adam agrees she's good. I would love to have her on an amazing run, but she is not a big name, so impossible.
Jodie Hauser? No, she's
No, Kelly Thompson.
Oh, wait, both
'Cause, I
of
mean-
thee people are big names to me.
Yeah,
She'll be
Kelly
big name. They put her on
Kelly
ASM.
Thompson has gotten
Yep.
like a lot of
Yeah.
gigs. So regular.
Ryan has a good point. Maybe there's a kiosk at the Beyond of the Drive. Adam says maybe Ben will work at Horizon, Tricorp, and Beyond Corp. Yeah, that's all been done. Eric says we're not allowed to have nice things, but I can't help but think about how the premise of Spider-Girl involves Peter having to retire due to a
debilitating injury.
Yeah.
Guys, this isn't going to be Spider-Girl because Ben is here. Ben still dies in her universe. This is not the same. We're not getting it, guys.
Plus, we know
I'm
Peter's
the
coming
biggest-
back. So
And I'm the biggest Spider-Girl fan that there is, and I'm literally telling you, we're not getting it.
How about we
It's okay,
kill
let
Ben
the tree
in the
die.
first issue?
There we go.
Yeah.
Adam says Gail Simone would have been good.
she always wanted to write Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I would love
Will
you.
George like this, Brad? I'm thinking not, but he
we
may
know
like
he
it
won't.
after 900. I suspect not. It's got clones and Zeb Wells, like we said earlier, Matt. I don't think he will. I invited him on the show, but he's doing D&D tonight. He already had a commitment. And JR, I invited on the show, but he is touring colleges with his son and is on the road, so he wasn't able to come tonight.
And regarding Zeb Wells, I just want to say I'm going to be one of the people who's optimistic about him. And just I know people crap on Shed, and I personally don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. But
Well, nice talking to you, Tyler. No.
I think some of the ideas are good, but anyway, Zeb Wells has written 2 of my favorite minis of all time. He did Carnage Family Feud and then Carnage USA.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
fantastic series, which I
Carnage
absolutely
USA
love.
was pretty good. I like that.
And then I remember he also did the Spider-Ham series that we thought was pretty funny on satellite.
Spider-Ham.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that.
With the
That was
Spider-Man as
funny.
the Joker doing the Joker dance.
That was very funny. Yeah.
So you're in other words, you're
Yeah,
saying
he had
Tyler,
a
whose Wells has
fantastic
improved his
Ant-Man
writing.
run.
Oh, he had an Ant-Man
Wells
run?
has
Yeah,
improved.
he had
yeah.
a fantastic
Yeah.
Ant-Man run where he
Oh,
brought
okay.
Swarm in.
Yeah,
Oh,
there was
yeah.
Storm,
That's
Ant-Man, and
right.
Cassie. That was also another fun 5-issue mini.
Yeah, that was fantastic story.
I'm hopeful for Wells.
Okay.
Is anybody
Well,
reading
I didn't
Hellions
kind of-
from
I didn't
X-Men?
like Shed,
No.
and I read the Doc Ock Year 1 today because I had not heard
Oh, you
of
did?
it. It was okay. It's a good story, but it seemed like it was supposed to be in our universe 616, but it didn't quite line up with continuity. So
Yeah.
it was, I don't know, it was a good enough story as long as you weren't trying to make it say this was a Spider-Man story.
Mhm.
Right. And like I don't know where you said it. You said that came out when Spider-Man 2, and that's been a long time. That's been
Mhm.
15
Yeah.
plus years.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
2004.
And then we also have Saladin, who I have not personally been a huge fan of his Miles stuff, but
Mhm.
I really liked his Black Bolt mini, and then he did the free comic book day issue with Peter and Miles together, and then he's also done he did the annual with the symbiote, like the flashback to the Untold Tales, and so I really enjoyed that one.
Well, Ahmed is actually, because he got his start writing like novels and everything because he won the Hugo Award and everything. So he actually has some legit cred to him. Yeah, that's going to be the guy who's supposed to.
Let me get through the rest of these pictures real quick. We've got the logo for Ben Reilly.
Yep.
Because the spider's slightly turned. We got look of the suit. Now
here's the thing. I do like this suit actually, especially when it was in color. I mean, it's off center a little bit.
I did too. He's got web pits.
It's a little bit over. It's a little bit much where they put the spider symbol over the heart. That's a little bit. You're a little bit too on point there.
I see.
A little bit too symbolic.
Where do you see web pits?
Oh, it's on the first image. But let me show you Ben Reilly real quick.
Proposed cover. Yeah.
I'll show you web pits in just a second. And then Ben Reilly looking a little old. If you go back up to the main page, I'll show you the web pits. It's on the image that came out.
And then they also he has like some new style of web shooter. He's got something hanging off of his wrist.
Yeah, the web cartridge is like under.
If you look here, there's a web pit right there.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Yeah, and he's got like black symbiote web shooters on top. Like you guys
you got hand patches.
Parts.
Yeah. And that looks very similar to Bagley's clone, which May eventually gets, but it's just the symbol's slightly off a little bit.
Well, it's better. It's more of a kind of an improved version of that Ben Reilly Spider-Man suit from the Clone Saga a little bit, especially if you look at the back of it too. Like they even kind of have a better way of how to do like the Spider-Man symbol, like but still make it kind of more of a classic look.
Well, I'll point out too on just that suit design. The suit design on a male, like May's suit, when it's on a male body, especially like with Ben, there were times with the way he was drawn that it made it look like he had boobs, and that it was very feminine because the suit itself very feminine, which lends, why it's so iconic, especially on May. But I could see them wanting to do a redesign with Ben, especially in this day and age, just because you don't want to confuse people, unless that's what that Ben wants to go for.
Well, that's why
to me, it's a very 80s look because it's off center. So now I want to give him like big poofy like
shoulder pads.
I want the Seinfeld shirt like arms with butt pits.
Yeah, I mean it's incorporating a lot of the like traditional amazing Spider-Man costume elements in there, while also incorporating some of the Ben Reilly stuff. So it's a nice little synergy between the two.
I still kind of prefer his old Spider-Man suit. I mean, personally, I like his for Ben.
This the one with the hoodie.
Well, no, that's my personal favorite for him. But I still really like the suit he wore as Spider-Man. I still much prefer that to this.
It's an amazing suit. Like it's my favorite. But I'm just saying it can at certain points when drawing. Look like
you just prefer it on May.
Of course.
It looks better on May.
Venkman says Ben Reilly does look better on May's.
I just said that
suit. Yeah. So that was weird. I've got a couple things I want to go over a little bit. I pulled up the Wikipedia for the new creative team. Kelly Thompson, if we look at what she's written for Marvel, she's done Captain Marvel. She wrote A-Force. She wrote the 5th volume of Hawkeye.
Yep.
Let's see. She wrote that.
Jessica Jones, Mr. X,
when Rogue and Gambit got married. She wrote Jessica Jones after Bendis left.
Yep.
She wrote West Coast Avengers, the one where they went to Hawkeye. Who did he get? He got
Gwenpool and
Gwenpool. That's right. I didn't read that.
Right.
She's currently writing Captain Marvel.
And she's currently writing Black Widow. So
yeah. Or the preview art of that new Black Widow by Adam Hughes, I think. Or
the new
cover looks amazing.
Gorgeous.
Right.
And so Kelly mentioned she wrote the most recent volume of Deadpool with
liked it.
With that shark. What was the shark's name?
Jeff
the shark. Yes.
Shark. Yeah.
Yep. So that's Kelly's Thompson's history on Wikipedia. Here is Zeb Wells. His earliest work, I think, was 2002. He did a Tangled Web, which was like short stories. I Was a Teenage Frogman. He also did Behind the Mustache. Does anybody remember that story? I do not.
Nope. That sounds like a J. Jonah Jameson story.
It does.
Oh yeah, it does sound like JJ. 15 Minutes of Shame. He wrote. I don't remember that one. I do remember.
Only a 2-page story. It was a 2-issue story. Never mind. I thought it was page numbers.
Yeah. I do remember Reborn. I think that's the one with Sandman. Am I correct? Because that.
Oh.
Yeah,
maybe.
I didn't care for that one. If I remember,
Okay.
I don't remember Rules of the Game and Just Another Manic Monday from Adjective List 51 to 52. If I remember correctly, after Paul Jenkins left, Zeb Wells picked up the title back in that time. And this is what Mark was talking about, Doc Ock Year 1. That came out right when Spider-Man 2 came out, the movie. He wrote some Marvel Adventures, Spider-Man 13 to 16. He was in did a story in Spider-Man Family. That was around when Back in Black was around. I'm an Assassin in Beast from Beast Road. I don't remember that one. Harry and the Hollisters. What was that story during Brandon days?
I think that might have been a backup, but talking about Harry's relationship with Lily Hollister or something like that. I believe.
Sometimes it snows in April.
That's the one you hated, Brad. What was it? That's with the snowstorm in New York with Chris.
Oh God, I hate that story.
That's one of the few ASM issues you've given an F.
Oh, I absolutely hate it.
I like that story, though.
Of course. Wait, I'm glad we're friends because our opinions differ. Birthday Boy with Pat Olaf, who I like. He wrote. Oh, it was in Spider-Man Extra #1. I remember that little one shot. Old Hunting Buddies. He wrote. Spidey Meets the President. That must be the Obama issue. Yes, with Tom Knott.
Yep.
Spidey met Obama. Spider-Man hasn't met another president after Obama. Have you noticed that?
Nope.
He didn't meet Biden. He didn't meet Trump. 24/7 Birthday Boy. I don't remember that one, but it was in Spider-Man Extra 2. Died in Your Arms Tonight with a fight at the museum. This was in the hardcover. Fight at the museum. I don't remember that one. It was in issue 600. He has been writing Spider-Man consistently since what, 2003, off and on?
Something like off and on. Yeah.
Wow.
One of the brand new day guys.
And the one we always talk about is Shed. We've talked about on this show, etc. What is Honor Thy Father? Is that a Billy story?
I think no, because it's part of Origin of the Species. I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a backup with it because Mike Armando on art. So
let's go to our clone. Our symbiote expert, Venom Dark Origin. Was that any good?
No, that was not. They I'll say this: as much as I love Zeb Wells, that he tried to make Eddie like edgy for the movie in the past. It was basically like a cheap movie tie-in, except they tried to make it with 616 Eddie, and it was not good.
Was this tying into Spider-Man 3? Is that what that was?
It was sort of trying to make him more like Spider-Man 3 Eddie, and it was not great. And so
and symbiote expert, anti-venom, new ways to live 1 to 3. How was that?
Definitely better. That was.
What was that about?
That was anti-venom and the Punisher going on a team up, and that was great. Like I love that one. So
he wrote the Carnage mini here. Tyler, was that good?
Yeah, that's Carnage Family Feud and Carnage USA, like I was talking about. Those are some of my favorite stories of all time. Fantastic.
Oh, awesome. Oh, he wrote that Avenging Spider-Man with Joe Mad. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. That was the first arc of it. Yeah.
He did the 3rd volume of New Warriors. What else did he do? He did some Doc Samson, Civil War, Young Avengers, Heroes for Hire.
Daredevil miniseries.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did Ant-Man. We talked about that.
He did a lot of X-Men stuff too. I forget. I remember.
So that is Zeb Wells. We have the next one is Saladin Ahmed. Now he's the current writer of Miles, correct?
Yes, he is.
So
and Miss Marvel.
And Ms. Marvel, and he won some award for Black Bolt. I remember.
Yep, he did.
I never read that. Did anybody read his Black Bolt? Was it good?
Unfortunately, I haven't read that. Yeah,
Black Bolt was very good. It's one of Ahmed's best things.
I need to read that. I would give his Miles a B-, and if I had to grade the book overall. What do you guys think of it? You give it lower. What about his Absolute Carnage Miles Morales?
No, but that was it. That was like infamous for having nothing to do with the main story, like actively contradicting the main story. Miles got the after being taken over by one of the Carnage doppelganger symbiotes.
Yeah.
Like he goes and finds it again at the end of the series, and he takes control of. He's like, all right, time to take the fight to Carnage. And then the main series, next time you see him, it's just taking him over. It had nothing to do with the main series at all.
Conan, the Battle for the Serpent Crown. Let's go to our Conan expert, Kelly.
Why am I the Conan expert? I took Savage Avengers because it was a tie-in just so we could get it over with. And now all of a sudden, I am the Conan expert.
See, this is when you should have had George on, Brad, because George's a huge Conan fan.
That's the story where Ben Reilly gets tased.
Oh, good. Yeah. Cody Ziglar does not have a wiki page, but there he is right there. His website is thatdudezig.com. He's an LA-based writer, director, and podcast producer. He currently writes on Rick and Morty. And for Marvel, he's also written for Robot Chicken, Marvel Studios She-Hulk, and Craig of the Creek.
Yeah, Craig of the Creek.
How Stuff Works on iHeartRadio. Directed videos featured on Funny or Die Cracked. Woo ha ha.
Yeah.
So
he's been around for a while, and I think that's the thing is he's mostly kind of a Hollywood guy. Like a lot of his stuff.
So far, he only has 2 comic credits. It looks like Heroes Reborn, Siege Society, and who reviewed? I think Javi reviewed this on Satellites. There's a backup in Miles Morales Spider-Man where he has to deliver a cake. And do you remember what the villain was, Tyler or Kelly?
It was something where like the cake.
The Bumbler. There it is.
Yeah.
Bumbler.
The Bumbler. Oh,
the Bumbler. There it is. Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
No,
it was. I think he's going to bring something better to the table with.
Well, again,
I'm hoping he brings the Bumbler into.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything about him though is says comedy writer, folks. So
yeah.
Well, Spider-Man can be funny. I don't know. Can Ben be funny?
Sometimes if you try to be funny on Spider-Man, it sometimes can crash and burn a lot of times. So sometimes we've seen that happen quite a bit. Some people will try to be like bring in the funnies, ha 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 stuff. Yeah. In a Spider-Man book, sometimes the humor lands and sometimes it doesn't.
Quick.
Ahmed said that he was going to be a very we put together a swashbuckling, relevant story full of pathos, which is like a real sad spot there. So maybe they're bringing in Cody to be like the comic,
to lighten things up. Yeah,
lighten things up.
I imagine since if he's the writer of Rick and Morty, you can just imagine like, oh, here's the working behind the scenes of Ben Reilly working at the Beyond Corporation, all the wacky time hijinks. So
real quick, Venkman says Kelly, the Conan expert, don't want to mess with her. Speaking of Kelly, she needs to be gone in 2 minutes. She said.
Yeah, I do.
So, but before you go, I'm going to go around the horn. But first, I'm going to start with Kelly. We have pros and cons. So, Kelly, give me some pros and cons of the new creative team. I'll write them as you say them.
Pros, I am excited to see Kelly Thompson on the book. And I'm excited to see a ring on MJ's finger.
Okay.
My cons are I don't know what they're doing. And I think that they need to maybe thank DeFalco and Co. For giving them this idea back in the 90s during the Clone Saga.
This idea. Okay. Any other pros or cons?
That's it for me.
All right, cool. So, Kelly, you got to go?
I do have to go.
Okay, she's got to get up early. She got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, well, too. I will see you guys tomorrow for Satellites, right?
Yes. Tune in for Satellites. We're going to review a bunch of books. Thanks for coming on short notice, Kelly. Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, bye, guys.
Okay, I'm going to add. I'm going to send an invite. Let's see.
Yeah, and I should have to go pretty soon too.
Okay.
So you want me to do the pros and cons next?
Yes, you can do pros and cons next. Let me send an invite to one of our staff, Ryan Reed, who also reviews Amazing Spider-Man, only video version.
Speaking of reviews, Mark and I are going to be switching back and forth during this thrice monthly event. Brad, you don't pay us the big money enough to.
I know, right?
You're paying them?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
Wait, you don't get paid, Tyler?
I pay you with love. There you go.
How else am I supposed to afford this MODOK figure?
The check bounce. Let's see. I sent Ryan. If you're watching, check your DM. I just sent you an invite. Tyler, let's get your pros and cons. What do you like? Here, let me do bullet points on this for a second. Where's my bullet points? Right there, they are. Okay.
For this bullet point, you should put Tyler only, but Zeb Wells pro.
Okay. Yes, I will. Zeb Wells, Tyler only.
Yeah.
I genuinely like him as a writer. So
okay.
And then Patrick Gleason. Patrick Gleason is a big one.
That's
very good point. Yeah.
Big fan of his art, and if he is doing story stuff, I think it's interesting. And I'll also add Ben Reilly as a pro. I'm a fan of Ben, and hopefully that means Kane is not far behind because I like Kane even more.
Hoping Kane is watching or watching.
Yeah.
He's
so those
watching.
Those would be my three big pros.
Okay.
For
Here,
cons,
let me bullet point these. Okay.
for
Got
cons,
it. Yeah.
I don't like that it's at the expense of Peter. It's like because they mentioned that it's some sort of failure. Like I know they sort of did the same thing with Thor when they replaced Thor with Jane Thor, where Thor had to become unworthy for her to become Thor.
I agree on that, dude.
So I'm really hoping that's not the, they give him a reasonable explanation for leaving. That's not just I don't want another Spider-Man no more. I don't deserve to be Spider-Man.
Right.
So, it's just.
All right. What else we got for cons, man?
Cons, I will say as much as hopeful as I was for the Rick and Morty writer, it's like I said, I've liked Loveness and stuff, but if it's the same writer that did the Bumbler story, I don't know.
Again,
Ziggy,
Cody Ziglar.
Cody Ziglar.
I don't know.
Here, I got you. Let me paste. Ooh, whoa, big font. Okay.
Yeah.
Ziegler. Hope he brings a better story than Bumbler. All right. Anything else, Tyler?
I think Bumbler hasn't been explored enough. Really.
Dude, I know you're all in. You're all in for these bad villains, but man, Bumbler.
Dark Mark wants his the Bumbler's Last Hunt story.
The Bumbler's Last Buzz.
Bumbler's Last Shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tyler, anything else?
No, I think that's about it for me. I've said what I've had to say.
No doubt. Thanks for coming on short notice. And,
absolutely. Sorry I couldn't stay longer.
No problem, man. He will be joining us tomorrow night for Spider Satellites for our Patreon show. So thank you, Tyler. Always a pleasure, man. Go tuck MODOK in.
All right.
Bye, Tyler.
All right. See you, Tyler.
See you guys.
All right. This has never been done before. We have never had all three amazing Spider-Man writers on the show.
Ryan.
Or reviewers.
Can I call you Dr. Reed now?
Pretty good. Yes, I am Dr. Reed.
There you go.
Yeah, congrats, by the way.
Dr.
Too.
Nice. Thank you. Of course, I won't have my ID stolen like somebody did with the Clairvoyant here recently. So.
It happens.
Ryan, your thoughts on this news of the new creative team?
Well, I have to say, when I read the news, I was sitting at a park bench this afternoon, and all of a sudden I went, "What?" And there was a camp behind me, and they said, "Sir, is there something wrong with you?" I said, I'm sorry, kids, I'm just don't know what to think about Spider-Man. They're like, "Why? What's happening in Spider-Man? Is he being replaced?" I said, "Yeah, he is." And they went, "That's weird."
Wait. Now I've got to hear more of this story. You're on a park bench, and a random stranger comes up and consoles you about Spider-Man news.
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
I was taking a break. I was with my wife and my son, and we were meeting a friend of hers and her 3 daughters, and we were at the playground at this park. And I broke away for a few minutes to just do everything, and I was trying to get some better reception. And the Spider-Man news came up, and that was my exact reaction was, what? And I was by the park and there was a camp going on. This kid just kind of came up to me like, sir, you okay?
Oh, it's a little kid. I thought it was like an old man playing
No,
chess.
no, he was like
It's like Magneto stopped his chess game to talk to Ryan and give him a hug.
But I just love his reaction. I told him like, hey, he is being replaced. And he goes, that's weird.
Adam goes, random stranger. They're replacing him again?
Exactly.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got that reaction. I got the reaction when it got this.
Is amazing says Kane hasn't appeared in anything since Spider-Geddon. There you go.
That's true.
Mary wants to know what happened to Kane. Well, he hasn't been seen. I heard something happened to him in Spider-Geddon, or did he get forgotten? I don't remember what happened to him. But are you happy about the news, Ryan?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I've been enjoying Wells's Hellions. I think it's been pretty good. The jokes have worked really well. But like everybody else, I think Shed. I think some other things. And then when I was reading Ziglar, I'm like, I know that name. And of course, the Bumbler, as we talked about. Thompson and Ziglar, I'm fine with them. And, you know, the Beyond Corporation was always a very interesting concept. And I think this was an interesting way to bring Ben Reilly into this kind of, because that's what they kind of do. And after seeing the cover, I kind of wonder, well, maybe he's just taking a bit and Ben's coming into it. But at the same time like I said, Wells, it's pretty much Wells is spearheading whatever the story is. And the fact he is part of the original BND brain trust. So it's making me very hesitant, even though I have, like I said, I've been enjoying Hellions and I have enjoyed some of his other work too, but it's, you know, I think with Thompson and Siegel there on, and Miles Morales with him writing has been kind of hit or miss. I've either liked the story or not.
Agreed.
I think the Clone Saga going under Miles Morales has been much more of a been more of a cluster mine mess up than anything else, where they've had that clones going on there. So I'm going to be cautiously hesitant, and I'm just going to see what goes on. But I think part of me does, because Al Ewing was the last writer who dealt with the Beyond Corporation, and Immortal Hulk is wrapping up at the end of the year. So I kind of wonder if, you know, even though they're talking about last writer standing, what if Al Ewing is thinking of coming on to replace him?
Refresh me what Al Ewing did with the Beyond Corporation and Hulk. I've read it.
He didn't really cover much in Hulk. He did it during his Ultimates and Mighty Avengers is where they last appeared in all universes and everything else. And he had really kind of explained how they kind of messed up, but how they had no place. And he had the Blue Marvel, and the Blue Marvel Sun actually banished them from the 616. So, but that was before Secret Wars. So we're not quite sure where that's going.
What do you guys think of 4 freaking writers, says Adam? This may be an uneven read.
See, Adam Winchell actually brings up a point that we were going to go into pros and cons about what we're thinking about doing this. Is that's kind of, you're reading my mind about one of the potential cons I have with this thing.
And Adam, actually, that's what I thought too, because when you have that many as big cooks in the kitchen, you've got a lot of narrative that really gets screwed up. I mean, I think back to the you know, the death of Superman, and then the writers trying to get everything set up with that, or even there was Superman Red and Blue. It's just like sometimes things were consistent, and sometimes you're like, did that guy even read what was going on, or even talk?
And I know you and Ryan, we were there with Brand New Day. We were all there with Brand New Day happened, and that was the biggest problem that they had during that entire phase. Is like you never had a consistent voice. Like yours.
Well, did you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the Maximum Carnage Spider History with JR that we recently did. So Venom,
I started that.
Venom is, or Eddie Brock is tied up against something, and Carnage is taunting him. And there's a cliffhanger at the end of One Amazing. Eddie's got the full mullet. Go to the next issue. The mullet's cut, or vice versa. So the communication is key for this. If you're doing what's a race where you're going around the track and you hand a baton?
Oh, relay.
Yeah, relay. If you're doing an Amazing Spider-Man relay race, it's important that you have a successful handoff. So let's go back.
You're going to be switching stories and issues, or do you think that they're all going to be inputting on the same story?
It should be all inputting on the same story.
It should be inputting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be going to be like a writer's room, but at the same, but I think each one is going to be tackling a portion of the story and everything. Like, hopefully they're going to be all on the same page on like, because I mean, hopefully they learned some of their lessons from Brand New Day about how these things were going back and forth. But I imagine it's probably going to be like, because when you're working on like they're probably going to be approaching it the same way as they do a television series. Like, it's like, okay, each one, even though Zeb Wells is supposed to be the captain of the ship, each of these other guys are going to be like giving their input about how they want, and it's like, okay, I'm going to tackle it. They'll go, I'm going to tackle this story. You tackle this one, and make sure that everything kind of coordinates together and everything like this. And making sure that we do this and making sure we coordinate this so just in time for Amazing Spider-Man 900.
Yeah.
So all that stuff.
So what do you think of the greed factor of putting out 3 issues a month?
I think it's just for synergy. I think it's just because they realized that the 60th anniversary is on the horizon, and they figured, hey, Marvel's like, why don't we time this perfectly so that the 900th issue comes out of the 60th anniversary?
Doesn't that add an extra comic in the mix a month? Because there's only 2 Amazings a month, right?
No, there's 3 Amazings a month.
It'll be 3. It'll be Trice.
Because then you got 3 reviewers, Brad.
Yep.
One.
Well, there you go. They're all in line. Yeah. And a former one over in the corner. Yeah.
Former one in the corner, right?
And what the hell? Did I sit on a whoopee cushion? What was that?
That was my air.
And if we go farther back, I was the reviewer back in '98. All right. Hey, let's go back to our pros and cons. Mark, let's hit you up, man. What do you got for pros?
Well, they can't mess up Spencer's Peter Parker if he's not in the book.
Well, that's a good point.
Okay. What else we got?
I'd
put an asterisk next to that, Mark. I think they can. If they really want to, they could. There's your asterisk.
I'll place that bet.
I think Spencer's going to wrap up with Peter taken care of. I don't think he's going to leave that up to them.
Okay. So, another pro. What do you got?
Well, I mean, you had the possibility for Jeff the Land Shark and the Bumbler showdown. Take my money, Marvel, for that one, right?
Can't we get Big Bot Wheel too while we're at it?
I think
possibly
maybe,
Big Wheel.
like Bumbler will be the equivalent to Boomerang to Ben as he is to Peter.
I like where you're going with that.
That's a good
You
one.
are welcome, Mark.
Mark, any other pros?
No.
Okay. What's your con, sir?
It's going to have too much of a what if feel. So that we're not going to really care about the stakes because this isn't our guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little. I'm not a big artist, fan. I don't follow a book for the artist, but if they're not touting any artist names, just the writers' names, that makes me wonder who do they have to be filling in. I mean, 3 times a week they're going to be shifting art left and right, and they can't seem to keep the art going 2 times a month.
Yeah, I doubt Pat Gleason is going to be doing all of these issues. I think
I think he's going to do
way.
the first arc, which would be 2 or 3 issues with his own input as writer, and then of course I think also as an example, he'll probably try to keep a consistency with the artist. So then that way, they say if somebody breaks their arm 1 issue, it's not magically like, hey, look, I'm healed. Remember, it's a Mary Jane and more loot.
Right. Yeah, Pat Gleason, so as the artist, is kind of the draw in for people to want to jump on board to this new thing. And then after that, they're going to be like, oh, let's put in some different artists to try to for once in a while that we'll throw in there. I don't think he's going to be doing the whole thing.
What's another con, by the way?
Zeb Wells. Sorry, Tyler. I liked his Ant-Man. I really liked that Ant-Man with Swarm in there. But Doc Ock year 1 did not have a confident feel for the character, and I really don't think Shed was a well-written Lizard story. Not that I've read too many well-written Lizard stories, but I just don't. He hasn't shown he understands that character, so I'm a little worried about. Of course, then again, it's not Peter, but it's supposed to be. They're saying I don't know.
It's interesting that we read so many credits of Zeb Wells, and a lot of them we couldn't remember. At least I couldn't. But that Shed, my God, that sticks out. I mean. And the year 1, you had to reread it to remember it, right?
Yeah, I'd never read it before.
I thought you already read it.
Mentioned it in Discord. I was like, I forgot he wrote year 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Is that all the pros and cons we got for you, Mark?
I think that will do it.
All right. As you wrap that up, we have someone else that wants to join us. We've got Neil. There's the roof of his car. What's up, Neil?
What's up, Bacon? And there he is.
Hey, guys.
Hey, there's your horizontal video. You know what I like.
Yeah,
you got to drive and talk?
Well, I'm gonna sit in my car and talk about comic books.
Oh, good.
You are. Well, it's better than in your basement, like I'm doing. Okay.
Well, I mean, I film it. No, Brad. I stream in my office. I have an office.
Yeah,
Is your
there
basement
you
an
go.
office?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could
watch the Bogan Writer Hour. He does.
Yeah,
have an
if you
office
could
of sorts.
review hamburgers after this, you'd have a small little side hustle
No,
going on.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go home. My mom has hamburgers made. What is going on?
I don't know. You doinked yourself right when you came
There
in.
you go.
So
So
we've seen
Neil,
crazier
since
things.
we got
That's called
you
a
on the
cur-
line, what's your thoughts on this, man? By the way, Vinkman
I-
says Neil,
Yes,
and Adam goes, "WTF is Neil doing?"
I'm going home. Okay, they kept me half an hour later than my shift was supposed to be. So don't get on my case.
I've been there.
Staples wants to silence me as your name right there. Okay.
Yes, they didn't want me to come on this show, so I'm rebelling against the system that made me.
Hey, I have a question for you, Neil. How does
Yes.
it feel now that Ben Reilly looks like you now?
It feels great. I finally feel represented as the one person here with facial hair.
Yeah.
I feels great to have Peach Fuzz finally get representation in comic books. I gotta say, it feels amazing.
All I have to do is blonde your hair, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, I've been brown all my life. A little blonde might finally
A
seal
little
the deal.
peroxide. Don't go over.
Tips there and
Word
there.
of advice: don't go
um,
overboard with peroxide, and don't do
but
your
I'm
eyebrows.
gonna turn on the AC real quick.
Vinkman says burgers with Bogan Rider. I think it's a
Neil, I
segment.
dare you to bleach your
There
hair.
you go.
Here,
I'll
I got
double dog
the
dare
whole
you.
idea. I got the whole idea. You
Oh, God.
review burgers in an 18-wheeler that looks like Optimus Prime. There, I did it.
There we go. Let's go, boys.
Roll out with Bogan Rider.
I can see that, ketchup all hanging over his face. Roll out!
Oh, Power Packers goes. It's the Bergen Rider. Yeah, the
Yep.
Burger Rider.
Okay,
All right.
sorry. I had to. Okay, yeah.
We don't
sorry,
care.
my phone just.
We really don't, Neil.
It's really dark. There
Okay.
you are.
Here, let's put some light on the subject.
No,
There
you
you go.
were all
Fine.
dark, but you can turn it off. We see you now. So we
Yeah.
want to get your
okay.
take. What's your take on this new creative team? What's your thoughts?
Please get pulled over
okay.
by a cop.
I'm not driving.
Please get pulled over.
By the way,
Attention.
By the way, this is the first time we've had everybody that's ever reviewed an Amazing Spider-Man comic on one
Yeah,
call,
boy.
Yep.
including me.
Woohoo!
Wow, this is the
Okay,
ASM
that-
team right
that
here,
one.
isn't it?
Yep.
So okay,
Past
here's
and present.
here's my thoughts on the new run. I am ambivalent.
Okay.
I was out of ASM for when I was reading ASM, but I wasn't aware of how creative teams worked back then, so I wasn't aware of the rotating creative team. But looking back on it, it wasn't good. I don't think any of the writers here are technically incompetent, but that's what we said about Zeb Wells, Bob Gale, Slott, and Guggenheim and Wade at the time.
Mhm.
So, I think that Kelly Thompson is reliable, if not innovative. Her Captain Marvel and Black Widow runs are solid. I liked her Hawkeye run. I wasn't a big fan of her West Coast Avengers run, but that was just a sequel to her Hawkeye run, so we'll just call it Hawkeye 2.
Okay.
Los Angeles Boogaloo.
I was just gonna make a book. I'm either hanging around you too long or vice versa, Neil.
Saladin Ahmed. Javi and I have gone on about him on Satellites. I think he is also reliable. I like Zeb Wells. Zeb Wells and Pat Gleason. Yeah, I like.
You
I
and
liked
Tyler
his,
have something in common, man.
I liked his Ant-Man run from 2020, the one where he did with Dylan Burnett. And I like his Hellions.
I guess what was the recent one that someone said half an hour ago that I liked that Wells did with Spider-Man?
I think it might have been the Avenging Spider-Man run, right?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
So it's very unfair of me, and I think others online to base his whole writing
on one story,
one shed. But that's
I have to say, because we've read other Zeb Wells, and a lot of us have had positive things to say too.
Yeah.
I do think that we should base some of his Spider-Man work on his previous Spider-Man work. I think we should use as a base for how he's going to write the character. But I think he's evolved in the past 10 years. I think actually 12 years since he was last on ASM.
Oh yeah. I mean, it sounds like he's gotten maybe better over time.
He's gotten more consistent at least because his run on ASM was very hot and cold with the Blizzard story and the Sandman story and the Shed.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that Blizzard story. The F I gave years ago.
I hate that so
I hate that one. I'm gonna have to reread that to hate it again.
So my only unknown element is Cody Ziglar. Here's the thing. Comic writing and screenwriting are two completely different things.
Yes, they are.
So you can see that in how Mark Guggenheim translated from comics to
and Bob,
TV.
Bob
Gale. Bob Dole, former chairman of the Dole Corporation.
I'm Bob Dole, and I write Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
But I think Gleason's doing at least the covers, and I think he's doing interiors. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. I am the Gleason defender on this show.
So
as this has been established.
Chi-Town, I'm gonna move you up here, Chi-Town. So I'm doing this in order.
Next to my buddy Mark.
He's your upstairs neighbor. Look at that. So Peter has to go. So I want to get his pros and cons. So what's your pro on the new creative team, Chi-Town?
As far as we know, Peter and Mary Jane are still very much together.
Yes.
Looks like engaged. What do you think?
Hopefully.
I'm taking my shoes off. I've been on my feet for the past 6 hours. I've had it.
Okay.
So that's what stinks.
Hey,
Neil, hold on. Neil has been on his feet for 8 hours. Okay, got it.
That's a con. All right.
That's a con, yeah.
Okay.
Here's a pro. Neil getting pulled over by a cop.
I'm going to drive. I'm driving now.
Yes.
Neil getting pulled over by a cop is a pro. All right, what else we got?
Installed. Oh crap!
For con, it should be Kane, not Ben.
Engine stalled. Okay.
Here we go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, the engine's not stalled. Engine not stalled. Okay, Peter. Keep going.
Right down. Don't let this make you feel like your input's not valued. All right.
It already is. It already is, Mark. It's there. Okay. Con is it should be Kane, not Ben.
That's interesting.
Ben already had his shot. Ben's been Jackal. I don't care if he's been fixed or not.
Good. That's a good, interesting point.
Con, too much flour.
Hold on a second. I've got 2 Neils. What's going on here?
Jesus.
Okay. Well, we're talking about clones, so why not?
Oh, my mom's gonna work on me.
What? What? Okay. Too much flour? Is that what you said?
Yes, he did. He said too much flour.
Anything else, Peter?
Pro is Dark Mark's going to review everything.
Got it. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Well, Peter, thanks for coming on last minute.
Guys.
I appreciate it as always.
All right. Take care.
So we will talk to you soon.
Night,
all right,
Pete.
man. See you, buddy.
Good night, Pete.
Bye.
Okay. Power Packer says Neil is cloning himself. That would be appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Adam says solid pros and cons list. Let's see. So let's do Mike. Mike, what's your pros?
Okay, so before I go and get dinner made, let's see. My one pro right off the bat, I do like the new Spider-Man suit. I know some people were not really down on it. I think it's a nice little synergy between. Yeah, I think it's a.
I like the suit too.
I think it's. Yeah, it's a nice synergy between the original and the.
What?
Oh, Neil's cutting in and out. Yeah.
Vinkman says, "What's with the red light? Is Neil driving through hell? He's going to get the marriage back. He's in hell. He's doing a Grubhub delivery to Mephisto's house."
Yeah. Okay.
I'm back with you. Go ahead.
All right. So, okay. So, like I said before, I gotta go. So, again, the suit, I think I like. The new suit is great. I think it's a nice little synergy thing. The other pro I do like that I think that there is kind of going to be a consistent story thread here, because if it's only going to be lasting for 25 issues, so it sounds like they've got some kind of arc in mind, like there's something like a beginning, middle, and end. Especially if we're right, it's just going to be going to like Amazing Spider-Man 900. That's going to be the culmination of the thing. So if there's potential there for it being a solid arc all the way through.
Okay.
Okay.
What? Any more cons? I mean, pros.
Pros. Okay. Now I'm going to be my two cons now.
Okay, let's do two cons.
Con, the big one is I'm not a fan of the rotating writing team. And the reason why is this, because you and I, Brad, and I'm sure Ryan, we are all familiar with what happened with Brand New Day and how that has basically caused a lot of inconsistencies.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. And when it's average, it's bad.
It's really
all over the place.
Really bad, yeah. And that, because so when you're, I mean, granted, it's not going to be. Hopefully, it's not going to be only like 25 issues. But at the same time, we've gotten a lot of that showed a lot of inconsistencies. I mean, Spider-Man is one of those stories that needs a consistent voice all the way through. It cannot be something that you have to trade off every single time. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. I mean, even if they all are on board with a singular plan, you can still tell that there are certain writers have styles.
Especially if you look at Thompson and Ziglar, they do have their own style of writing.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and it's like it's like a fingerprint. No two ones are alike. Even if they try to write similar and everything like this. Right. The other con I do have is it's like I joked earlier. It's like that my Star Trek joke.
Hold on a second. Can you guys see if I scroll? Can you guys not see that?
No, you need to scroll down.
No, you're kind of you want to scroll down.
Scroll down.
On your Google Doc, or at least push the cursor on the arrow button down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Can you guys not see that?
Nope.
I just see it's cut off at not a fan of rotating rides, engaged in engine.
An engine stalled. Yeah. Huh. You need to move your arrow down more.
I did.
Okay.
I am moving my arrow down. That's weird. Let me remove this and
maybe go back into it
and go back to it.
Yeah, let me see if this helps.
Google Docs can share very strangely.
Can you guys see it now?
I don't know how it works.
No, it's not shifting. You it got cut off.
Okay.
Live radio, folks. Live podcast.
Let me decrease the font.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Down the 9 Arial. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
Okay. So now my second con is that, like I joked before about my Star Trek joke, it sounds very, very much. We've been down this road before. They're just combining it's very much a retread. Like I said in my analogy, it's basically taking Brand New Day, Clone Saga, and Superior Spider-Man and just combine them all together in a pizza, and hopefully they're hoping that the pizza will be pepperoni, olives, and fire roasted tomatoes instead of Canadian bacon, pineapple, and anchovies. Yeah. So I mean they're really hoping that it somehow you get a winning combination here, and I realize we know that, of course, the old adage is nothing new is under the sun. But if it comes across as too derivative, like, you're just basically combining like past like greatest hits or bad ideas of one Spider-Man comic, and you're hoping you can make something great out of it. I'm kind of a little sketchy about this, especially since this is one of those. The heroes out of commission, and we got to bring the replacement in. So,
any other cons?
I think those are my main ones. I mean, again, I'm kind of like Tyler. I mean, I'm not going to be as down on it as say as some folks. I'm cautious on the message. I'm kind of curious as where it's going to go. I have an idea of where it's going to go, but I do want to see like what their vision is at least before we start really.
How will this affect the supporting cast that we have grown to care about? Hope it won't be new supporting cast. What happens when JJJ? Will he support Spider-Man?
You see, I don't think he will, because remember, he talked about how, I know, Ryan, you're thinking the same thing I am. He talked about trying to get himself a new hero.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That came right into my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's not gonna like this. He's probably not gonna like this other Spider-Man coming in. And because he's already down on Spider-Man already, so he's probably thinking, and especially it says like, who am I going to get? Who am I going to endorse instead? Maybe the Bumbler. Maybe he seems like
no bumbling. Mark loves it.
You're the Bumbler. Get the T-shirt today.
Yeah, I mean, something to that effect about like maybe whoever comes out of like. Or maybe something that comes out of like, whatever happens with the Sinister War was like maybe Jonah decides, I'm going to back Boomerang as the hero or something as the guy or something. I mean, something like as a rival for, especially if it's a new Ben Reilly comes in and Jonah's like goes back to like, oh man, he's not giving me the time of day. Well, you know, all that stuff.
Did you say you had to go, Mike? Or
yeah, I gotta get dinner made.
Oh, you haven't had dinner?
No,
right. We cannot have Mike on an empty stomach at night.
Yes, I do.
Oh, Little Caesars over
there
Mark's
you go,
house. There you go.
Mhm,
Any final thoughts, Mike?
Again, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm kind of curious where to see this is going. Hopefully, this is not going to be. Hopefully, this. I mean, I know there's a lot of Ben Reilly fans, and I'm kind of thinking like maybe the whole idea of this is like one. This is going to be like, why Peter Parker should be Spider-Man by putting in Ben Reilly, since he is a little clone of him, and also I think, like I said, it is perfectly timed for Amazing Spider-Man's 60th anniversary, especially with 900. I mean, you couldn't do it more, time it more perfectly the way
you allegedly see what's coming down the road.
Yep. Oh yeah. Cautiously optimistic. Cautiously,
All right. Well, Mike, thank you for doing this on short notice. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Let me take Mike out. Whoa, it's just there we go. People were asking in chat what happened to Neil. Did he die? No, Neil is fine. He is waiting until he gets home and he will join us. I'm going to invite to get some more people in here from our staff that want to be on it. Mr. Markin, if you're watching, I am sending you the StreamYard link right now. And who else wanted to be on? You know what? If you're watching live on chat now, if you would like to join us, Greg, I saw you in here. If you'd like to hop on, we'll do a little bit of live caller-ish kind of deal. So, all right, here comes James. What's up, James? How are you, man?
Oh, hey. Hey, everybody.
And refresh me, reviewer of Miles, right, on the Crawlspace?
Yeah, Miles and Black Cat. I have to catch up on those. I got to catch up. Yeah, I got to catch up on that ever since I got the new job. Sorry, it's a crazy. Hopefully, now that I'm settled down with that, I'll catch up on, especially on that clone stuff. Because
your quick take on this, James. What do you think, man?
Cautiously optimistic, I guess, is the best thing I could say about it. Pretty much what everybody else said about Zeb Wells. It's like I forgot every other issue of Spider-Man. I forgot about that Blizzard one with the Mayan Doomsday, whatever it was, like 3 years before 2012. It was like 3 years before 2012, and they're doing a Mayan Blizzard Doomsday plot. I forgot how dumb that was. And, and then Shed, of course. Just I can't get that ugly art out of my face when I think about it. So,
are you happy or are you sad? Or you're cautiously optimistic? You said, right?
Being a 90s kid, I like Ben, so I'm excited to see him get his second shot now that the whole baggage of is he the original, is he the clone, that's not there no more. So maybe it's just he gets his moment now where it's not just like he's not Peter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what, James, you're like the editors. They grew up in the 90s. This is their Spider-Man.
Oh, I was making that joke earlier when I heard about it. I feel like, new Space Jam's coming out, Ben's Spider-Man again. I guess tomorrow I got to go to bed. I guess I got to go to bed tomorrow because it's 96 again and I'm in kindergarten.
Oh, exactly. What were you saying, Ryan?
All right.
Man. All right. So we're doing pros and cons. If you want to be on the live callers, DM the Crawlspace on Facebook. And I'll send you the link, okay? So go to the Crawlspace Facebook, DM it. Let me pull up the Facebook DM as I tell people to do it. I better have it up. Let's see. Let me pull this up real quick.
And it's funny, James, because, when I came back to comics in the 90s is when the Clone Saga started. So I was actually on the ground floor when Ben Reilly actually came back into it. And then, I watched him come in and die to come back to where now here he is again. So it's like, I feel like I'm having deja vu again.
Funny you should mention that, Ryan, because the first comic I ever bought was Spider-Man 75 when he dies. And it's like random thing. I didn't start reading regularly until when I was in middle school, around time the Raimi movies were coming out. But we had a comic book store that was like a block or two away from my house. And occasionally, sometimes we would go in there, get an action figure, get a comic or whatever. And I got that issue of Spider-Man, and I had no context, but I thought, hey, this blonde guy's kind of cool. Oh, he's dead. But hey, Spider-Man.
I actually used issue 75 there as a debate on our comics worthy in the 90s at my freshman year speech class. And I actually had a debate, and I had the cover all blown up because I was working for the printing company at the time. And half the people said, oh, I pick up that cover because that's an awesome looking cover. But who's the blonde guy dying?
Yeah, exactly. Greg, if you're watching, I thought
he was like, oh, Spider-Man's a brother?
Saw the message. We're going to have Greg join us. He's a longtime fan of the site, so he asked to join us. Is Mark back at his desk? It is not. And also, Neil is getting hamburger meat and is going to cook with. He's going to bake and grill with Bogenreiter coming up in just a second. And
the irony
his
is
name. There he is.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, y'all get to ride in the car seat for a couple of minutes.
Did you? Okay. And we have Greg. What's going on, Greg? How you, man?
There's Greg.
Hey, how's it going?
Look at you. I've not seen your spider shrine. Let's take a look at your spider shrine. I love it. Look at that.
I don't know if I get everybody sick.
Oh, look at that. That looks cool.
Look at this. Look at the cardboard standee. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I like the
got some Bagley.
I like the N64 game.
Firewall.
Yeah.
And more stuff over there.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. So
the new ones I've been sending you about up high, I guess.
Oh yeah, he is trying to collect all the issues of Amazing. He sent me a DM the other day. Hey Brad, you want to sell your Amazing Spider-Man #1? I go, no.
Okay, no. Here's the thing. Brad's gonna put that thing on his tombstone.
Greg was like, "Hey, don't you have a daughter that needs to go to college in about 7 years?" I'm like, "What? Way to guilt me there, Greg."
Jeez,
Don't you want Ava to go to school?
No, we have a 529 going, Greg. It's not filled with an Amazing Spider-Man.
No, but what if it was?
Oh my gosh, you're so dark, Neil.
Is there a light? In my cup? You are in my cup holder. I'm going to the drive-thru in the Bogenreiter Burger segment.
I've never been in a cup holder. I usually don't fit in a cup holder, but I'm glad that the keto diet's working.
I feel honored that I'm in his cup holder.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah,
it's
kind of dirty, I imagine.
This is a brand new experience for me, Neil. So thank you.
So, Greg, let's hear your 2 cents. When you heard this news, what did you think?
Well, I guess I just saw the post that you guys had put up, and I guess immediately went to that first picture and saw the heart necklace.
Okay.
And I guess I kind of thought that might, I don't know, the fact that it was glowing so red, I thought there was probably something Mephisto something involved there.
Oh.
And as we were talking yesterday, I think, we chatted a little bit, and I thought it really looked like they were setting up for Ben to come back and Peter to leave. So it looks like that's kind of coming true.
Well, also they're doing like they mentioned a while back, they were trying to explain why Ben Reilly wasn't in Last Remains. They said they're going to explain it here, right?
Okay.
Oh, we got Mark back. Mark's in the house. There you go, Mark.
Hey, Dark Mark.
Dark Mark's back. So you think that the glowing of the necklace, Greg, has something to do with Mephisto, huh?
That was my theory.
Yeah. Is Peter dead there, or is he alive? What's your thoughts?
Maybe an in-between state.
Yeah. Who knows? Are you excited for this, Greg?
Like a coma?
Yeah, like a coma.
Kind of like an in-between thing, like they did with Iron Man before Iron Man 2020 happened.
Are you excited for this team?
Put him in his little coffin thing.
Yeah. Are you excited for this team? What you've read about Ben Reilly coming back, Greg?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not excited for another version of Shed.
Yeah, none of us.
Sorry.
I have run to bat for this thing before.
But,
don't get me started, little man.
Well, I was looking back at it. I mean, he's done some other stuff that we've gotten that's okay. So
yeah,
it's just I don't know. I worry that your other people have said. I think it's going to be a trouble to have it be bouncing around. Hopefully, I was saying in the chat that I hope the new technologies like Zoom and people working from home
Yeah, they can talk to each other.
Are gonna will lead to better communication, to where they're able to keep some consistency in the story and the art.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably my biggest con about Brand New Day era, was like how it did stuff like that. Like you have one writer, like let's say Slot had somebody, and then they would disappear off the books for 6 months until Slot came back, or the art wouldn't match up and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
The art matching up. I mean, from one book to the next, you're like, who's that? I don't know who that is. You know, you shouldn't have to have them.
Introduced a new character in that story, and then everybody buy a different artist. And you're like, who is that supposed to be? Like Nora Winters was an example of that.
Well, I'm looking
They
forward.
couldn't make up her hair color.
To seeing who's. That was Carly Cooper, though.
Oh wait, that was Carly Cooper.
Let's go.
I am the Brand New Day historian.
Let's go back to our pros and cons list. Ryan, we haven't had yours yet, have we?
No, I didn't have a chance to put it in there.
Ryan, what's your pros?
Well, one pro, believe it or not, that I'm actually looking forward to the fact that the Beyond Corporation is sponsoring Ben Reilly.
I love that. I love the Beyond Corporation like being introduced into this. I was surprised because it's more like an Ultimates thing or like a Next Wave, but
you know, if it's for the Beyond Corporation, I want to put that as my con.
Okay.
I'm going to put a pro and then, Mark's going to put in a con.
We've now canceled each other out. You're going to have to get more pros.
All right.
Tit for tat. Go ahead.
You've earned my wrath.
My other pro, believe it.
Neil, chill. He's giving us pros.
This is what
I know I'm in a cup holder and you can't hear everybody, but chill out.
I know, see, like I said, it's a new experience for me for the cup holder. I don't know what's going on.
I can hear him, Douglas. I can't see him, but I can hear him.
Well, then quit talking over him.
Okay. I'll shut up. Bye. I'm sorry.
It feels like when I used to work at the movie theater, so thanks a lot for bringing back some memories from 25 years ago. Anyhow, my other pro is I'm actually looking forward to actually Ben being the star of a book again. Actually, I did like Pad's run on Scarlet Spider because it was a really nice take on it. And I think he did a lot of work until we got towards the end. I know if Mike was here, we'd probably be discussing about all of a sudden the big heel turn on that. But like I said, I came in with the Clone Saga and I was from Ben on the Ground Rock. So I actually am not having a problem with him leading a book, but at the same time, I am, like I said, my con would be I am very cautionally optimistic about this because I have, we've been through this with Brand New Day. We've been through this with other writers. And like I said, it is more of Zeb Wells. And like I said, a lot of us said he's come a long way since the guy who entered Wizard magazine with Kool-Aid Man fighting nunchucks at park benches in Central Park, that I may have actually been competing with him in another video about crafting cold at his bar inside his basement. But anyhow, I think that's a true story. But one thing, also I have a con with this too, is I am very worried about not strong artists. We have had this where, we talked about the Blizzard area, we've talked about inconsistency, but I am very worried we're going to get some artists that really look like they, I talked about this on a Facebook group, that looks like they are drawing first grade art books and say, this is Spider-Man. Don't you know what's going on in this story? No, I don't. I just know there's a spider and there's a logo and there's dialogue.
I'm going to provide an art group
counter.
Go ahead, Neil.
Yes.
I'm going to provide a counter to that. We've kind of had this problem. We've kind of had this problem in Spencer's run with Marcelo Ferreira.
Here, let me.
So
full
it's not
screen
exactly
you.
like this problem.
The eyebrows.
I want to see what it looks like in a cup holder.
Here, I'm a cup holder.
Dude, don't pull it out of the cup holder to crash.
He's back in hell.
Okay, Ryan. Any other cons?
Okay.
Like I said, the only other con is just not having one consistent voice for this. This is going to be, even with being steered by Wells's story, but we're going to have a lot, as they say, cooks in the kitchen. That's a con for me.
No consistent voice. Okay. All right. Greg has to go in a minute. I want to get Greg's pros and cons. Greg, what do you got for a pro?
Well, gosh, I guess it looks like Peter and Mary Jane are going to be together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already said. Big fan of Mary Jane. So my con is I think that she's going to be out of the book for a while.
Oh, you think Peter will be out of the book too?
Yeah, I think so. And I guess I also think just the whole supporting cast is most of them are going to be out of the book, and you're going to see a whole bunch of new people that are going to go away in 25 issues.
Oh yeah,
that would suck.
Oh, I'm very sure we're going to see the Beyond Corporation, a lot of the old characters, including Number None, probably make a return in this storyline.
Gotcha. All right. Any other pros? Oh, you didn't have any besides Mary Jane and Peter together again.
It's going to be interesting to see maybe Ben have a good shot at being Spider-Man, where it's not who is he or what is he and stuff. So
I could spell seeing. Seeing. There you go. All right, cool. Well, Greg, thanks for hopping on real quick, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks,
guys. Man. All right.
Good to see you, Greg.
See you later, Greg.
See you, man.
So, I kind of have going off the Peter MJ thing. I'm wondering if Sinister War and by extension, I know I'm driving through the bowels of hell. Give me a break, old man.
Don't talk to Mark like that.
I'm talking to you.
You know what's ironic, Neil? He's called Dark Mark, but I can see him just fine.
He's a color.
But going off of the Peter MJ stuff, my theory is that Peter's gonna either learn about the deal from One More Day in like What Cost a Victory or the Sinister Wars stuff going on, and that's either gonna cause him to lose faith in himself or make him feel like he needs to recommit to the personal stuff. Like he's gonna lose something. What Cost a Victory implies sacrifice. And I think
I don't think it's going to be the lost confidence. I think it's going to be I need to buckle down on what's important to me.
Yeah, and like Peter still hasn't graduated. He still hasn't got his doctorate back yet. And I assume at the end of Chameleon Conspiracy, he's going to be back to square one on that because Jamie's going to screw up their project. And then...
so, wait a minute. Let me write down your pro. He will focus more on the supporting cast? Peter...
No, Peter and MJ being together means that, at least in his promo picture, to me, says... that Peter is going to say, like, he needs MJ more than he needs Spider-Man. And I think that's going to be, like, the turning point for his character. And by the end of ASM 900, when Peter reclaims his identity as the one true Spider-Man, again in the last 10 years, he's going to come back with the realization that he can do both now that he's taken the time to figure out how to make them both work again.
Neil, I don't think you can see the comments, but Adam goes, "Why is Neil sitting in his car in the dark like a weirdo?"
It's me. I am a weirdo.
Neil is on a stakeout. I love that one.
That's right. I'm stocking slots so we can't come back.
No. What's another? We'll do Neil's pros and cons,
baby.
Neil, what's another pro out of you?
I'm actually kind of excited to see like what artists they bring on. That sounds weird because I know one of the cons earlier was getting a bunch of random artists, but I'm kind of excited to see who they bring on to take on the new demand of 3 issues a month.
Yeah,
because we've had.
You suspect it's John Romita Jr.?
I don't, because he's on Fantastic Four now.
Oh, look, I can scroll now. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, you're not frozen anymore.
All of a sudden. Let me increase my font size so you guys can see it better. Can you see the scroll? Yeah, you can. Nice. Okay, cool.
Rolling.
Any other pros, Neil?
I think what's going to happen is I think that. Well, what I was going to say is I think what's going to happen is that Hellions is going to end soon because Reign of X implies like all the line is slowly shrinking down a bit. So I think Hellions is going to be one of the first titles to go, and I'm hoping Steven Segovia, who's the interiors on that title, moves over to ASM because I really like his art.
Yes, his art's very good.
I've
not seen it, but
I'm hoping that the X-Men line condensed and Wells moving on to ASM means that we'll get to see some of the artists who are really good transfer over to ASM and get to see their talents used to keep up the demand of a
Oh, we lost him.
And there goes the burgers.
Stay tuned for more cons out of Neil in his dark car. King Hillbilly says, anyone but Chris Bachalo, please. Also, no Ramos, please.
No, please no.
Will probably be the same rando artists had in the last few years of amazing since Otley is what Adam says. Let's see. Oh, I hear a beep. Oh. They will need to connect their mic and cam before you can add them to the stream. I think that's Neil. Ryan, you sent me there's the art.
Yeah, there was
we were talking about.
I sent to you. Yeah.
All right. This is who Neil likes. Let's take a look. And let me go back to.
Yeah, I was trying to find a more recent one.
There you go. That's not awful.
It was from it was from a little while ago too, but everybody agreed with the team. So
all right, let's see. Let me get back to my Google Doc here. All right, James, we haven't heard your pros and cons. What do you got, man?
One of my pros I would say is the suit. I really like it how it's the updated. It looks like an updated, more modern version of his, sensational Mayday suit. I like the Mary Jane engagement. It seems like they're teasing here. 90s nostalgia, I guess, because I'm a 90s kid, so it's gonna be kind of cool to kind of get that kind of feel back in the book a little bit, maybe for me at least. I know other people probably like George want. Yeah.
The older fans are not excited for that 90s Clone Saga nostalgia, but if you grew up,
the 90s made me quit collecting.
Yeah,
I know. I know
collecting.
I know somewhere George and JR are probably like gritting their teeth after I said that.
Yeah,
George is
they are not excited
and be like, "Oh, Ryan, we were friends. We were friends."
Any other pros?
That's mostly it I can think of for pros. Yeah.
What's your
off
cons?
the top of my head. God, I can't think of one right now. I had one and now it's slow. Mostly with everybody, I think they hit my cons. That's why. The art, I hope it's not like random artists who's not gonna have any consistencies and one issue writers. I mean, a Spider-Man's shirt is ripped. The next one, he's perfectly fine again. I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah. I guess it's just because it's
one Spencer leaving.
Yeah, I think we're all having
that too.
Yeah, that's a con.
I guess another one is because they're doing the brand new day again. Maybe I hope it's kind of is like somebody else said. It's like the pizza. It's brand new day meets Superior.
Mike said
I
that.
hope that it's not completely creative bankrupt. With ideas, and it's not just like, hey, remember this? And my other con is I hope it's not filler, because my theory is that this is just a gap in between 900 when they get the solo ongoing writer.
Yep.
And so I hope it doesn't just become a filler thing when 5 years later people are like, hey, remember that time when Ben was Spider-Man again?
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I think that with the exception of Neil's cons, we haven't. I think I've got everybody here, haven't I? Okay. Let's go to the comments. I've been typing. I've been doing dictation over
here. I didn't see any comments.
Oh my gosh. Anthony says, I quit Spider-Man when the 90s Clone Saga started. Then James picked it up. Did not thinking the Peter I grew up with was a clone come back fully when JMS his run. Let's see.
What the big difference is here, Brad? It's not Ben Reilly taking over as Peter Parker, whereas in the 90s they were trying to sell on us that he was the real Peter Parker.
He was going to be Peter.
That's a different bill of sale, isn't it? Yeah, I agree.
That is why I think this one might go a little bit better for Ben, because he doesn't have that, oh, he's not the real Spider-Man. It's, you know what I mean? Like, everybody already knows, okay, Peter's the real one. He's taking over until like probably 900. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like safe.
Yeah. Mike Murdoch says, just got here and heard you guys talking about Zeb Wells. I had no idea who's writing next. It's Zeb Wells. Wow, what the luck. I was really thinking he'd be great from the little tiny backup story, and to be able to pull that out of his butt in such short notice is impressive. Until he had some other character in Jonah's place the whole time, but it wouldn't have been as funny. Let's see. Adam goes, so it will possibly be all this tedious stuff with Ben and the Beyond Corp. That's what we're talking about. We wonder if that will just be filler until ASM 900. What? Who joined us? Neil's back. There he is. What's up, man?
So Staples has removed me from the roads, and they've trapped me in my house.
Actually, when I full screened it, it says Staple has trapped me from the hoe. In the hoe. In my hoe.
Hang on, I'm changing the name.
Hold on. What does it really say? In my house, but I like trap me in my hoe is actually kind of. There you go.
Yeah, now the name is relevant because we're doing a segment tonight that everyone asked. Burgers with Bogan Rider.
Hold up. Let's see the burgers. Let me see the burgers.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's a Whataburger. Yeah, there we go.
Whataburger, Texas favorite.
George,
I had the Oklahoma version, did not care for it, but
I am now George. Now whenever you make an ASM show, you have to bring me on because I am now George.
Mike wants to know, is it Zeb Wells or Kelly Thompson?
Yes.
It's both. It's all of them, Mike.
You get more. Price of 2, not 3.
Adam hits it up. It's Wells, Thompson, Gleason, and like 2 other writers. Yep.
Yeah, I think honestly what we're going to see here, who here remembers Rosenberg's X-Men? The 2019 one before Hicksmen began. What was the story about?
Yeah, I remember.
It was the one where like one of the anti-mutant groups made like a vaccine for mutants. And then the X-Men fought Nate Gray and they all blew up, and then Cyclops and Wolverine went to Apocalypse Town with what was left of the X-Men. It was terrible. But
yeah, I did not like that run.
But what happened was that Kelly Thompson, who's on this run now, Ed Brisson and Matthew Rosenberg were all in the title at once, and it was really the same format where it was 3 writers going for 3 times a month on the same title. And by issue 10, Matthew Rosenberg took over as the full-time writer, while Thompson and Brisson went to other projects. Brisson went to, I think, Ghost Rider, and then Thompson went on to finish Captain Marvel and West Coast Avengers. And what I think is happening here is like either this is while they are biding time and like rushing through the pipeline to ASM 900, they're going to use this to figure out who they want to write ASM next.
Yeah, we talked about this a little earlier. It's like Survivor Island of Amazing. Whoever writes the best story gets the gig.
Yeah, I think we're going to see is five issue arcs.
Yeah,
and then by the time ASM 900 rolls around and Peter Parker comes back as the one true Spider-Man for the third time this decade, we're gonna have our new writer.
Right. King Hillbilly says, "I hope they don't get rid of the school thing after Spencer leaves." What do you guys think of that?
I hope Peter gets his doctorate. I feel like
he's like him to finally finish that credit.
Yeah.
And since
I'll have to happen off panel because Peter's not going to be in it.
Well, I know that arc is personal to Ryan. So,
yeah. Let's see.
Like I said, I'm hoping that like they don't just give up. I'm thinking my thought is like Peter's gonna get really messed up from the fight with Kindred, and like this is gonna give him time to kind of recommit to his personal life stuff. He's gonna finish his doctorate. He's gonna fix things with them. Not fix things, but because there's nothing to be fixed. But he's gonna like really buckle down.
Put a ring on it.
Yeah, he's gonna put a ring on it and figure things out with MJ. Yeah. Possibly deal with the death of Aunt May. I don't know. That's my personal spitball theory. And Ben's gonna come back, not evil. He's gonna be like, hey, so this multiversal corporation is sponsoring me to be Spider-Man. You cool with recovering while I take over for a bit?
So Neil, we were in the middle of your pros and cons. So what's some other cons that you have, or did you have any more pros that you didn't mention?
I did. Okay. I think that we've clowned on the web heads and the brain trust from the Brand New Day era, but I honestly think like giving like a rotating writers cast, like if my 5x5 proposal is correct, then this could honestly be a good way to scout for a new writer, because I think Ahmed's running out of steam with Miles Morales. Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel run I think is kind of petering out, and then Zeb Wells, I proposed earlier that Hellions is ending, and that kind of frees up some stuff on his plate. And then Gleason's finally getting back his writing chops from his time on Superman, and I don't know who's the other guy again.
Gleason is a writer. He did Superman.
Yeah, he wrote Andrew
Green Lantern issues back during Jeff Johns' run.
Yeah, cool. So I think this is a good way to scout for talent or pick who they want to lead their next flagship. This is
the greatest team of writers, as we've been told. So I mean, Nick Lowe would not lie to us about that.
I laughed when I read that.
I love how my work cons are now cons for Amazing Spider-Man. This is great.
If you look at it on this doc I'm doing, they're equal. One is not outdoing the other one.
I did not get pulled over. I did not get pulled over.
Rid of all the Neil stuff in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. Neil getting pulled over by a cop is not a pro. Hold on. Engine not stalled is not a pro. Dark Mark reviewing everything is not
the engine
pro. Hold
because
on.
the engine did stall. Oh yes, I do want to see Jeff the Land Shark. If we don't see Jeff the Land Shark, Kelly and I will riot.
Okay. Well, the cons now are outnumbering. Oh no, engine stalled is a con too. Neil has been on his feet for 8 hours. Hold on, that's not a real deal.
We're gonna take a bite of this burger and we're gonna do a little connoisseur testing.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Here we go. There's your burger. There's your burger bite with Bogan Rider. What would you give it for a grade?
I give it a B.
For Bumbler. Yeah.
No. It's because it had a nice cover.
Oh, shut up. It had a nice bun. It had a nice bun. All right. We've reached the pros and what's going on? Is the Humane Society coming over? What happened?
There's dogs. There's wild animals.
Oh my gosh.
I was afraid my dog was going to do that.
Oh man. Adam goes, I wonder if Brad would have wanted Donnie Cates on ASM. Yeah, I enjoyed his Venom run.
Here's what's going to happen when Cates gets on. Peter's going to get a sword. He's going to get wings. He's going to fight Gobbledygook, God of Spiders.
And he's going to hold forth Mjolnir, you know, he's Thor's hammer, you know.
Yeah. I'll web the spider sword. And then he's gonna have a Swedish word for an expletive or a slur or something.
I would like to see Donnie Cates and Al Ewing's take because I love the Venom run. I love the Immortal Hulk run. I would like to see what those gentlemen can do.
Ewing's gone full cosmic.
I'd be so for with that, but he's really on the cosmic side of
I also
and he's nailing it. I don't want him to leave.
I would also like to see Jed McKay, who's doing an excellent job on Black Cat, to take on Amazing Spider-Man.
I wish.
Yeah.
I want to see Leah Williams. I want to see Leah Williams because she's not doing anything after. She's doing Trial of Magneto for 5 issues, but that's only like a mini. I kind of want to see her take on ASM because she did a great job with MJ.
Adam wants Grant Morrison.
No, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have like a really weird, well, we already have weird cosmic multiversal stuff. So that's actually right up Morrison's alley with the Beyond Corporation.
Yeah. Right. We'll take some questions from you guys if you'd like. Before we wrap it up, we're getting towards the end. Dark Mark, you showed up a notebook earlier in the broadcast. What is in that notebook? You had notes? Did you have Bumbler drawings? What was in there?
I looked up who all the writers were and stuff. I found out Kelly Thompson has a newsletter you can sign up for all about what's going on with her. So I signed up for her newsletter to see if we can get some extra Spider-Man stuff.
Nice.
Oh, I have my graphic. Remember the graphic, Brad?
Your graphic. Let me. Here's a full screen. What do you got?
Hang on, I'm trying to find it in my 5 notebooks. Here we go. So a while back on the Discord, I did a graphic of all the current plot points that were going on in Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
And recently, I redid the graphic to reflect the current plot points that are going on now.
Okay.
So Spencer has to wrap all this up in 8 issues, 9 actually. And I think he's going to wrap up the Teresa Chameleon stuff. And the ESU stuff.
These are flow charts, people.
Yeah, I'm Hickman, baby.
So those are exactly like Hickman's white pages that we pay extra money for. And
no, we don't. We actually don't. I looked at the page count on X-Men. You're still paying $3.99 for the same amount of regular pages plus the data pages.
Oh, okay. I don't read the data pages. I don't like them.
I like their graphic. I like their graphic design. I'm a graphic design sucker. So,
questions.
Yeah, they look cool if I skip them.
Yeah. Mark, anything else in that notebook? Like Dan Slott has a notebook.
Patrick Gleason has a Tumblr site that has an Ask Me Anything on there. So I think we should start making that where we pull it up and ask them questions each episode.
Okay, there we go. That'd be fun.
He also does a few questionnaires on Instagram once in a while too. I sometimes throw some things out to him.
Ah, cool. Go ahead, James.
Hey, one of my friends just texted me. He goes, "So how's Aunt May going to react to Ben? Is that why maybe that's a clue she's going to die? Because here's a guy, Ben Reilly, who looks just like Peter."
I wonder if Aunt May knows about Ben Reilly.
No, she doesn't after Clone Saga.
Yeah, because 400. Yeah, because 400. It was the actress anyways, but like he was always hiding from her too. He was just the guy on the phone.
And then Kane was watching her. Man, people are stalking Aunt May, man. What's going on? Anthony says Kate's Spider-Man will shoot chains instead of webs.
Yeah.
The
I
Green
think that
Goblin.
Aunt May question is a pretty good one, Brad, because if
that?
they're going to deal with the devil,
Mm-hmm.
and the deal was made to preserve Aunt May's life, then something's going to have to happen here. Either she's going to have to die, which I don't think they're going to do.
Well, that's what I thought was going to happen because of the What Cost Victory title.
Yeah, but she hasn't been. If she was going to die, I think they would have given her more screen time in these issues coming up here. She's been largely.
They haven't done anything with her in 10 years. They haven't done anything with her in spite of saving her.
No, she had breast cancer, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but that was a while back, and that was mostly taken care of in Spectacular Spider-Man.
No, it was friendly. It was Friendly Neighborhood.
That's right,
Friendly Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so she either has to die, or she's going to have to also kind of be brought in on what's going on. So yeah, she's going to have to step in here somehow, either die or learn who Peter Parker is, or maybe she'll learn and then have a heart attack.
It's Spencer, so I'm wondering if Bullseye is going to come into play. Yeah. With this, like the sniper in
there you go,
in Black and Black.
Adam goes, Brad, you need to get Nick Spencer on here. I'm trying. Multiple emails have been sent.
He's very quiet. I assume that's because he just wants to maintain complete radio silence so nothing is spoiled.
I'm hoping once he wraps up his ASM run that he is willing to talk more about it. I mean, he's launching a company, so
no, he's not. He's joining a Substack.
He's joining a company. I'm sorry. You'd think he would possibly want to advertise that a little bit. Maybe we could do a twofer. I want to show you guys something. What is it? I also want to show you
Free Britney stuff.
No. Free Britney. Yes, that's what I'm going to pull up. Do I have the other image?
Kelly, if you're listening, Free Britney. Let's go.
Is Kelly all Free Britney?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, who isn't Free Britney?
Britney Spears.
Well, no, Britney wants to be freed.
Yes. This is now the Free Britney Crawlspace.
Okay. Well, I can only find one picture of it, and let me add it to the. So Peter, Mark's nemesis, met Nick Spencer right there.
Hang on, zoom in on Mark's face. He looks so defeated there. Just looks broken.
Oh, hold on. Where is Mark? There you are. Okay, hold on. Okay,
that's his smile and optimism gone.
So Nick Spencer has met our own Chi-Town wearing a Crawlspace shirt. I would love to have Nick Spencer on. He's been invited.
Brad, I just want to point out: have you heard from Nick ever since that picture was taken?
I have not.
And you've always associated yourself with Crawlspace when you've introduced yourself. So his only understanding Crawlspace is Peter, which I mean, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't come on the show?
I'd be like, Lee.
Well,
the rivalry that will never end. Jeez, do I need to take over ASM reviews again so that you can and Peter can go to like couples therapy or something?
You know what we missed? Were you on it when I had every ASM reviewer the site's ever had?
Yes.
Oh, that was funny.
That was when I was in the car and going to hell.
I'm like, we have had every ASM. We have Ryan and Mark and Peter and me and
Mike.
And Mike.
Yes,
Mike.
all of us. I'm trying to get the other picture. Talk amongst yourselves.
So yeah, I had to stay an hour past work and I'm not happy. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of hate this job.
I'm sorry.
I hate that I turned into like the Bogan Rider sympathy hour.
What's the one thing you hate about the? Whoa!
What was that?
What was the question you were asking?
There it is. Okay. Let me download the picture. Hold on. I've shown these on the Crawlspace before, so it's not new. Sometimes I need a second monitor. I can't do this with one monitor.
You should get two. I have two monitors, and my life is awesome.
Yeah, I actually have one too right next to it. Works great for the podcast.
There you go. Chi-Town met Nick Spencer in Chicago at a comic signing. Nick was invited, and he was very open to being on the Crawlspace. So if you're watching, Nick, we would love to interview you as your exit interview of Amazing Spider-Man, please. And don't hold it against you that Peter dressed up like that.
Look at Nick's face. I mean, that is clearly a person saying, "I am not getting paid enough for this."
Blink twice if you're being held hostage.
So thrice.
I've never talked to Nick. Peter's talked to him several times, and he's been a cool dude. So we would love to have you on. So, okay, there is your answer. I should try to get Nick Spencer on. I've tried. Okay, let's do another 10 minutes, gang. Is that cool? And then we're going to wrap it up. 10, 15 minutes.
Sounds like plan.
And get your questions in. I'm going to go through them fast. Let's see. Gabriel says the Green Goblin will become a literal goblin with a stupid nobody knew until now backstory. That sounds kind of cool.
I'm really surprised. I really like the sensitive Norman storyline that we've had so far.
Yeah, it's a little makes it a little different. How do you guys feel about the Marvel Dark Ages event?
I'm ambivalent. It's an AU, so it doesn't really matter in the long scheme of things.
Is it an alternate universe?
Yeah, it's like where it's like when it's like they come up like in some cataclysmic event where like they all lose, and then Iron Man loses a leg, I think.
Oh, I thought so it's like a what if.
Yeah, it's basically like what if the Avengers lost, I guess, or something.
King Hillbilly, if Ben is for sure for the next 25 issues, or just like a story arc, didn't they have us convinced this new crappy suit might be the title longer than it was?
They never said 25 issues. We were just.
This is mainly inference on our part.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Miles
everybody's
is
assuming
in the suit around the same time too.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it bad that I don't like the new Miles costume? Like I really like the Into the Spider-Verse costume with the jacket and the Air Jordans and the sweatpants. I just wish they would go with that one. Why do you have to make him look like a foot ninja?
They should have Jonathan Hickman write it.
No. Okay, I like Hickman, but he is not a good Spider-Man writer, or he doesn't tonally fit Spider-Man.
He fits big team books generally, don't you think?
Books, Avengers,
or
Fantastic
or something like a cosmic thing. Like he could do like not. I think he said he wanted to write Eternals, didn't he?
Yeah, he was interested in Eternals.
Is amazing. I'm trying to get Spencer. I've been trying. Eric is on board for a Hickman Spider-Verse.
Yeah, me and my friend John were talking about it. He would not be a good fit for ASM.
Yeah.
If he wrote like a Spider-Man team book, like that was dealing with this, like a Spider-Verse book that dealt explicitly with like the greater cosmic implications of the Spider-Verse, I would be interested. I wouldn't be completely sold, but Hickman would at least belong on something on that scale. Yeah. He just doesn't work on like the street level ASM stuff.
We'll have 100 satellites back.
Oh, no doubt.
I'll have to start joining you then for the satellite reviews.
Doc Ock will come back to Aunt May too, says AR Angel. Adam says, Brad, get Spencer on here. I'm trying.
Every time you say that, like 3 more people are going to say, get Spencer on.
Brilliant people out of proportion. They didn't really deal with the cancer stuff in Friendly much either.
I will say it just went like away completely after like the 5th issue.
Is she cured?
It's gone. But I don't remember an episode where they actually mentioned it.
She just went. I think in the 14th issue, like the last issue, she just went into remission.
Gabriel wants to know: does Aunt May matter to the mythos nowadays? She lost her relevancy years ago. Oh, she's the reminder of the guilt of what happened to Ben. Yeah, I think she's very much needed.
Well, she can be the new Uncle Ben.
Well, she's pretty good. Like when Peter was looking at proposing to MJ before she went off to her own title, she was good about kind of prompting him to take that step and move forward.
And now that she's fulfilled her purpose, time to die.
Yeah. Adam says Brad is stalking Nick Spencer like Kindred. Not really. Kyle Higgins would be a good ASM writer, writes Gabriel.
Oh, the guy who does he did Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I think he's doing Ultraman now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about him. He would be the way he wrote Power Rangers and now Ultraman. I think he kind of gets that kind of with Spider-Man, the kind of cheesy factor.
He's doing Radiant Black right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's doing that. He also did some work on Red Robin too. So
and like they're like he's working with a bunch of image writers to do like a whole like expanded universe around Radiant Black, like he's doing Inferno Girl Red or something. I backed that on Kickstarter. I'm looking forward to that, but I think he's like got his calendar filled.
Stargamer says Donnie Cates is the only guy he can see that makes the Spot cool.
Hey,
is cool, man.
Hey, don't diss my man, the Spot. Don't.
No, sorry, it's Spot World.
I think Aunt May started doing yoga and got over it.
Online poker.
Adam goes, what company is Spencer going to? New comic company? No,
I can
go ahead,
explain
Neil.
this.
Take me through that one.
So Substack is basically like, I guess the equivalent of like an online forum where people just create. I don't even know what Substack really is. It's just like everything but nothing. And so what Substack is doing is they're basically poaching talent from all over the place. Like in the journalism world, they just got Glenn Greenwald to start working on Substack after he left The Intercept. And but I think what the CBR article that broke the news said that Spencer was like going to be the college recruiter for a new wave of comic creators who are already in the industry.
Hopefully he'll write something. Won't he write something for this?
I want to. Well, okay. I hope he gets to do like a creator owned and actually finishes it, because I've got all 3 trades of The Fix and all of his Morning Glories issues. He hasn't finished either series because he's been working on Marvel stuff.
Adam goes, Brittany and Ben Reilly in the news. Everything old is new again. Gabriel says that Spot can be cool. How can Marvel create the most visually interesting villain in terms of power set and make him a joke?
Well,
agreed. Spot is cool, man. Vinkman says, Brad, pay attention. I'm here.
I'm trying to explain your thing. And he's like, "Ooh, what's that? A squirrel?"
You should get Slott and Nick Spencer on to debate the spider marriage. God.
Oh God. Oh
I wanna,
God.
No, I want to see a Slott hater and a Slott defender go at it.
Oh, we had Slott on the show. What, 2007?
With a Diet Coke in his hand.
Yeah,
I don't got enough alcohol for that.
Yeah, that would break the internet, sir. No, I'm not going to put that comment. No, we're not going to. Yeah, Spider-Man written by Tom King. That's what I'm saying. I think that'd be fun.
I'm okay. A 12-issue mini would be good from Tom King.
Not an ongoing, huh?
Yeah, his Batman went to crap after War of Jokes and Riddles, and then went even further down this. It's like a incline. Went like progressively worse as time went on. And
Jonathan says, I got to tap out. Been up since 6:30. Proud to support #James Club.
Yeah,
you got a fan up there.
Yeah, that's John Weber, who I used to do the Spider Fan podcast with. Thanks, John.
Oh, cool, man. Gabriel is not your fan. He goes, oh God, please no. I'm just kidding. He's probably referencing something else, James.
Oh, he's probably referencing like the Slott Spencer fight.
Yeah. Adam looks like a regular dude to me when he talks about Spencer. Adam, I wish you would have come on, man. That would have been fun.
Or he could have been talking about James. James is like a regular dude to him.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
He's a cool guy. What can I say? I can't.
Adam says, I wouldn't mind Tom King on Amazing. In your opinion, has Spencer's take lived up to the hype so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a solid run.
He surpassed it for me.
Really? And this has been said before online, but I wish he had more time to do stuff as opposed to cleanup of Slott.
Yes, I agree with that, because it feels like he's been just trying to clean up the last 10 years and doing things, and why still sneaking some good things on it.
Yes.
I really like things with the Palace. I like things getting back with the Foreigner and a couple other pieces too, but there's also been other things that just I don't know where it went with. I mean, 2099 is a grand example. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's
my least favorite arc.
It's been like cleanup.
Forgot about that arc.
Cleanup.
I think Spencer at his worst has been okay. Like that.
Agreed.
The worst, like you said, the worst arc was 2099, and that was at worst an okay arc. It was like, okay, what's the point of this? Oh, you want to do an event? All right, fine, whatever. Let's go. Let's do something more interesting. And they went back to the better stuff.
Mark, has he lived up to your
wish? Because he did all his cleanup.
Yeah.
Then they're going to let Ben Reilly do a couple of stupid things, and then 900. Spencer comes back with Peter Parker, and he gets right his new stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go.
You fools. Substack was a prank.
Soflo says Peter's going to offer his life for Aunt May. Anime goes, what are your thoughts on all those Mephistos? Is there more than one?
Oh, I can explain this. Oh,
yes,
right.
we'll go into it because I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
there's a Superman one.
So in Heroes Reborn / Marvel's Run Out of Ideas,
I'm not reading that.
The Avengers 1, Phil Coulson is trapped in the Pandemonium Cube, whatever that is, and it's revealed that Mephisto is part of the Council of Red, which is like the Council of Reeds, but made of Mephistos, aka Jason Aaron has no original ideas and has to poach from smarter people.
Yep.
From Hickman.
One of them
wow.
looks like Superman
so
too.
there's
It's like, what?
Yeah,
multiple-
Heroes Reborn was trash. I'm going to talk about it on Satellites tomorrow.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Jonathan want to say before the show ends, I discovered James on Spider's Tangled Web show. Love you, James. Man, you that guy launched James. He's your biggest fan. My goodness.
Wow, James.
Adam goes, crap, not Hickman. I meant Matt Fraction, who wrote the annual. That's who he wants. Matt Fraction's not coming back, I don't think.
He's got creator owns.
Yeah, Matt.
Gabriel says Spider-Man is a character-driven comic. Hickman doesn't go well with characters. They're all kind of flat.
I made a joke about this when I think it was we were talking about the X-Men books in the Discord, and I'm like, Hickman writes all these characters very culty and very much the same, and I'm like, is that just something he's doing for House of X, or is that just the way Hickman writes characters?
Anthony didn't like Hickman's Spider-Man on Fantastic Four, but I don't think he's the best fit for ASM. Wonder if they'll bring Annie or Mayday in the main 616.
No.
I don't think so. Our
I don't.
Angel.
Here's what's going to happen: if Peter and MJ get married again, that's a big if. Or if they like remain like domestic partners with a kid, it's not going to be Mayday and it's not going to be Annie. It's going to be some new OC kid that they can get royalties for.
Andre from our staff goes, do you guys think there's a constant formula in Spider-Man stories? Has Spencer followed this formula? Or is Spider-Man's present and future tales more of the same? Mark, what do you answer that one, Mark?
No, I don't really think there is a constant formula in Spider-Man stories. Everybody has their own take, and there's times where he's funny, there's times where he's serious. I mean, Peter David writes funny ones and serious ones. He's the guy who did Here Cometh the Commuter and the Death of Jean DeWolf.
Did he do 5 minutes too?
Yeah, he did a little short story.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's got. As long as Peter Parker is the key to the story, you can put Spider-Man anywhere. I think when Peter Parker took over Parker Industries, it could have been a good story, but we didn't have really Peter Parker there. I mean, you could have Peter Parker be rich and still be Peter Parker with his still Parker luck and his still bad choices and things like that. Being poor is not part of his personality, but we just didn't have the character of Peter Parker there. He's what drives the story.
I mentioned this on a different show. I did a recording last night talking about the reveals, but like Parker Industries, All New All Different was a really weird time for Marvel because they didn't have the X-Men, or they didn't have the movie rights for the X-Men, so they were really pushing the Inhumans. Tony was like poor, but not like super poor, but not rich. But I think that they could have done something with like Peter stepping up in terms of like supplying superheroes their equipment and like reflecting on his role as like one of the Marvel Universe's smartest people. But like Slott focused on the toys. He didn't focus on any introspection on Peter's character. He just had Parker Industries so that he could make new toys and shoot rockets into space. There was nothing engaging or introspective about that. And Peter like reflecting on his wealth and how he's struggled all of his life and now he's finally got a win, and like you can say like, oh, maybe there's something just not working for this.
Matt Bird says, I would like to see Kenneth Johnson be the new writer on Amazing, since he was the creator of the Incredible Hulk TV show. What are your thoughts, Brad and gang? Kenneth Johnson wrote V, the miniseries, back in the 80s. Kenneth Johnson's nearly 80 years old. I don't think he's looking for Spider-Man work. I could be wrong. But,
Simonson just did an X-Men Legends arc.
Yeah, might as well.
I can see writing a quick mini series, maybe set during the period, but that's
not as an ongoing Amazing writer. Adam says Zdarsky would have been cool and amazing if he was reined in.
I agree with that.
I actually liked his spec run.
I've been enjoying Daredevil. lot.
No, I love his Daredevil, and he writes Peter really well in there.
Yeah.
But I think he's better with that kind of like sullen character.
I think Zdarsky would be very cool if he was driving the bus as opposed to driving a satellite. He does very well with Daredevil, where he's driving the bus. He does good with a what if story. The life story was good. So it would be interesting to see Zdarsky not in the back seat, but actually driving. So, Adam, I'm kind of with you a little bit. I would be willing to give him a chance. Adam goes, they must have offered Spencer a bucket load of money.
No, yeah, they have. I think they're funded by like some pretty rich people.
There's some very high hedge funds going on. I'll just say that.
Yeah, man.
That's what I heard.
Fred Van Linty wrote that cool spot story back in ASM 590.
Actually, what's he doing?
I don't know.
He's been working in the video game industries lately. He's had a lot of online platforms. He's done some things for Xbox.
Whenever I don't hear from someone on the internet,
story writer.
Whenever I don't hear from someone for a long time on the internet, I just kind of assume they're dead. That's probably not good on my part.
At Neil, Slot Haters and Defenders was the CBR message board for years, says Adam.
Oh yeah, that was an experience to be sure.
What if Spider-Man 616 made a YouTube channel?
They kind of did that with the Threats and Menaces stuff. Yeah,
With the suit.
I think I'm actually I don't know. I haven't gauged a lot of responses on that, but I think that was actually one of my favorite story arcs of the past 30 issues.
Tom King Marvel Knight style book will get my money too, says Eric. Let's see. Where am I?
With Clay, you got Clay Manad by it or Doc Shaner.
Yeah.
Do we really want Rhino to be in love with a rhino, though?
Amazing Spencer's only misstep was the 2099 event.
You want Peter to want to kill himself?
I'm with Mark. I kind of agree with the 2099 was the only misstep. Do you think there's another misstep?
I don't think it's been like a misstep, but I do think he's kind of had a problem since Last Remains with like letting his story drag a bit too long. Like the pre Last Remains stuff, like 3-issue arcs, bam, 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 really good pacing. But then after Last Remains, it kind of started dragging a bit for me.
Yeah. Here's a good question, Ryan. You get this one. What happens to Gog? Gog is still a house pet.
I forgot.
Ryan, what happens to Gog?
This is what I believe is going to happen to Gog. I believe Gog is going to find Boomerang. He's got his scent. He's going to invade. He's going to, Boomerang's going to have this big deal, and Gog's going to come in, and Boomerang is screwed up, and then Gog is going to come in, save the day, and then he's going to be, the new thing. It's going to be Fred and Gog leading adventures with the new Sinister Syndicate.
James, what happens to? I'm going around the horn. James, what happens to Gog?
Gog becomes sentient, becomes a god. Actually, becomes a god. And
he knocks the G off, puts a D, huh?
Yeah, exactly. He becomes a god, and then every sudden he gets all these followers, and the next thing you know, he's up there in space with Venom, hanging out with the cosmic people.
He's the Guardian of the Galaxy now.
Gog is the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
Groot. I am Gog.
I am Groot. I am Gog.
That's it. They merge together in some cosmic storm and become Gog Groot.
Groog.
Groog. I am Groog.
We are Groog.
Neil, what happens to Gog?
So what's going to happen is I think Ryan's got a fairly solid backstory here, but I'm going to improve the ending a little bit. So Gog is living with Peter and MJ. Also, where's Peter living now? He's homeless. I just realized that.
I want him to go live in Mrs. Muggins' apartment again.
But here's what's going to happen: is Peter is taking care of Gog, but he doesn't really know how to because he loved Fred. So Peter sets him free to find Fred. When Sinister War happens, Gog sees what's happening. He was at the premiere. He's going to run, find Fred. Fred's gonna have a moment of guilt, and he's gonna ride Gog into battle like Optimus Prime rode Gridlock in Age of Extinction.
Take a shot, boy.
And at the end, Gog is gonna put on sunglasses and a backwards hat. He's gonna say, "My planet needs me," and he'll die on his way back home to his home planet.
You're gonna Poochie him?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, top that. What happens to Gog? So help me if you say he dies, and then you just start dying.
Sadly, we will never see him again. He's just going to not be referenced at all.
He exists in the ether, like as Spencer's run ends, like Mark's live reading it, and then Gog just appears next to him.
Here's what we should do. In ASM 1000, Peter should go into the closet or in the bathroom, and you see Gog like he hasn't eaten in 100 issues. He's like starving, and then he dies in front of Peter.
Oh,
with great responsibility also comes great house pets.
Is this a Tom King run?
No. So Uncle Ben and Gog will make Spider-Man be a better man.
Well, no, I think what's going to happen is we're going to get Amazing Spider number 1000. Poochie's gone back to his home planet, and what's going to happen is Peter's going to fly. Peter's going to become a god. He's going to have like the radiant black cape. He's going to fly over Earth, and he's going to fly next to two graves. He's going to say, "I wish you were here to see it, Mary Jane and Gog." And it's just Mary Jane and Gog's grave.
Let's keep going. Gabriel. Away. We need to remember that Spencer hype was literally after the beloved Secret Empire. That was the hype. A lot of people thought it would be the worse than O'Neill run. That's true, Gabriel.
That was me.
Yep.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was cautiously like excited because Spencer was controversial, and so he had a lot to lose. I was happy
for a new writer after 10 years. Adam says, I haven't loved some of Spencer's arc that weren't about Kindred, honestly. All right, let's get through these comments fast. I'm losing track. There's so many. Just no to Ben. They new Coke the ASM book.
No, that's the 80s. We're going back to the 90s.
So I got a question. How do you guys feel that I'm Spider-Man now?
All right, we're going with comments.
You mentioned in the car that I'm represented by Ben Reilly in the book. I am now Spider-Man. How do you guys feel about that? We're all doomed.
How did Ben become good again? Thought he got corrupted in the clone conspiracy. Mark,
he got better.
Yeah, he got killed by Genix and then brought back to life with a clean slate by Dr. Octopus.
Yep. Spencer's worst has been average, nothing really horrible. Mm-hmm. Do you know about Spider-Man Lotus? Yes, that's the someone, I forget who DM'd me. I think it was Peter. It's a fanfic, and the suit looks amazing.
Oh, the fan film, yeah.
Yeah, the fan film. Maybe we'll get the director and maybe the Spider-Man on.
We should do a commentary on it, like a Patreon commentary.
Yeah. King Hillbilly. I like Jason Aaron until he started the Avengers. Hated it since 1, and he will not leave that title.
You know what? I've got an idea. We need to. Okay, so the things he's ruined have mainly been She-Hulk and Ghost Rider. So I say the solution is we just give She-Hulk and Ghost Rider solo books, and they just ignore what's happening in that book because it's worked for Iron Man, it's worked for Cap, it's worked for Black Panther, it's worked for Thor. So naturally, the conclusion is if we just ignore what he's doing and do something better, he'll vanish into the ether.
So Neil and I debate this on Satellites quite often about our love and dislike of Jason Aaron. I like a lot of Jason Aaron stuff. Mm-hmm. I think he's one of the best Ghost Rider writers that's ever happened.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago.
Also, his Thor is one of the best Thors I've ever read. You what?
I love his Thor.
His Thor was great. I really didn't like his Hulk, and his Avengers is okay. It's not the worst, but the longer he's on it, the less I'm liking it.
Have you seen the promos for World War Hulk?
Yeah, that looks horrible.
Or World War She-Hulk.
World War Shulk. Yeah. Worst I can say about Spencer's run is some of it didn't feel like ASM stories. They felt like spec or web issues. Yeah.
I guess that's because it kind of feels like it's doing the legwork of multiple titles.
David could do it all. One of the great underrated Spider-Man writers. Adam, he's one of the best. B. Rich has been here from Kansas. Aren't you in Kansas City, B. Rich, my Missouri brother? Been here all 2 hours plus. My gosh, thank you, B. Rich. And so has Adam. You know what? I've been here this whole time too. Because
Brad, I'm heading out right now.
Are you out, man? Are you really? All right, man. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
I probably have to go too because I have work in the morning.
Okay, here, let me get these comments and we'll go. I'll wrap it up together, okay? Zdarsky Fraction or my favorite Brubaker. Brubaker's not coming back.
He's never coming back.
I want to see 616 Spider-Man have night vision because that makes sense. I didn't like the Peter Parker split story.
I love that one.
And I thought it was a really interesting connection between how they both function
too much
about each other.
Yeah, Fred stuff in ASM. Baby Gog is going to hang out with Lockheed.
Oh, I thought he was going to say he was going to go to Lockheed Martin.
Gog becomes an Instagram influencer. Gog gets a symbiote. Gog Stan.
Yep, there we go. That's the best one right there.
Boomerang and Gog Adventure by Fred Van Lente. Mrs. Muggins' apartment building is probably McDonald's now. I hope not, Venkman. I love that skylight apartment. That's my Spider-Man apartment.
Peter has to do his Instagram stories there.
Carly, Teresa Parker, and the other Spider-Man, Spider-Woman in the book are my only real Spencer complaints. Some of it was because of editorial.
But I like Carly in this book. She's actually tolerable.
Brad, do you
I
own?
completely changed a Carly with this run.
I agree. She's tolerable. Gary and the Frozen, Brad, do you own full runs of all amazing titles? I know you're missing a few early ASMs. Yes, I've got everything except. I can tell you what I got. I got one. I don't have Amazing Fantasy 15. I've got issue 1. I've got issue 3. I've got issue 14, and I've got issue 21 to current of Amazing. That's my run. God gets his own book. Vinkman, more likely a Starbucks or a Chipotle over at the Miss Muggins house.
Miss Muggins gets burritos.
Eric wants to know what's going to happen with Carly and Overdrive. They're going to drive off into the sunset. That's what's going to happen, man.
Yep. It's like the end of, was it Bendis' Ultimate, where Peter and MJ just drive away and we never see from them again.
Adam says Gog becomes the new Carnage, Maximum Goggage. Gog's face will show up on a milk carton.
What if Spencer? What if Spencer actually does that? Like Peter goes, "Oh yeah, there's Gog," and then Gog's face is on a milk carton.
Remember when Peter put on Gucci shoes and bang and pimp smack Mary Jane when she was grief? Yes, we do. I don't remember the pimp shoes though. Adam says, "Not sure I care about Carly or Overdrive." Eric says, "But I wonder if that's going to get a resolution. Maybe I missed it." Gabriel says, "I like Jason Aaron's runs on Avengers. It's really a great depiction of a business fever dream." See what you did there, Gabriel. You started.
No, hang on. He's wrong because it's a great depiction of a coma.
Oh. How do you feel about Bendis' new Avengers run?
Which one?
It didn't do much with Spider-Man. He was just there to be on a cover.
He was the Quip Master.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Be Rich is indeed in Kansas City. Go Brewers. Go Brewers. Okay. All right. That is a wrap. Actually, you know what? Real quick. I meant to do this. Let's go over the pros and cons that we did from all the panelists that were on this show for 2.5 hours. The pros.
Who's looking forward to see Kelly Thompson? I'm surprised by
Kelly.
that.
Kelly.
Oh, was Kelly there?
There's a ring on. These are the pros and cons of the new creative team. Pros, excited to see Kelly Thompson in the book. There's a ring on Mary Jane's finger. Zeb Wells. Tyler says that is the only one excited for.
That was me too. So
Patrick Gleason on art is a pro. Ben Reilly in the book is a pro. Hoping Kane is watching. Can't mess up Spencer's Peter Parker. Asterix. Jeff the Land Shark and the Bumbler are a pro. Possibly Big Wheel too. Peter and Mary Jane are together as a pro. They like the new Spider-Man suit. Consistent story thread. Beyond Corp sponsoring Ben Reilly is a pro. Ben being the star of Spider-Man's book is a pro. I didn't write that. Seeing Ben get a shot at the book. Did it. JR, nor George, nor me wrote any of these. Peter realizes he needs Mary Jane more than Spider-Man as a pro. Excited for a mystery art team. Hallion's ending and Sokovia possibly the artist. I think that's Neil. Mm-hmm. The suit looks cool and updated, more modern Mayday suit. The MJ engagement, 90s nostalgia, and rotating writers is the pros. Here are the cons, folks, from the panel. They're confused. I think that was Kelly.
That's accurate, I think.
Yeah. Kelly said they need to thank Tom DeFalco and company for giving them this idea. They don't like Ben coming in at the expense of Peter. Cody Ziglar, hope he brings a better story than Bumbler is a con.
Bumbler is the greatest villain of all time, and you cannot tell me otherwise, Douglas.
Bumbler, what was it? He was at Bougie Cake, right?
That was some good ass cake.
Good ass cake. That was the last line of that story. Too much of a what if feel is a con. There's no artist being touted. Who's drawing this damn thing is the con.
It's the anti-image.
Zeb Wells writing is a con. It should be Kane, not Ben, is a con. There's too much damn flour. Not a fan of rotating writers. This is a retread of old stories as a con. Another con is the Beyond Corp. One person said they're worried about the art team. There's no consistent voice. Another con, Mary Jane and Peter possibly out of the book. Supporting cast gone in 25 issues, question mark. Are we getting some people we're introduced and we don't care about them? Hope it's not random artists drawing the flagship title. A con, a big con for me. Spencer is leaving. Another con, this feels like Brand New Day 2.0. And I forget who said it, but I hope it's not filler until
As I
All
said,
right, James. Yes, I agree with you.
I want to say this. Aside from like a few like Brand New Day 2.0 and filler until ASM 900.
Yeah,
like they're the exact same arguments, just on this different sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Adam
says, epic show, guys. Good stuff. Thank you very much. Night, everyone, says Anime Hunter. Good night. Thank you, Vinkman. Be Rich in Kansas City. Great show. Brad is the best. No, my team is the best. I'm glad you like all of us.
Yeah.
So is amazing, said Night. Great show as always. And again, go Brewers is what B Rich says. All right. That is a wrap. Thank you all for being on with such short notice. Like I said at the top of this, I shine the spider signal up in the sky.
Oh, I also went to hell. That was a pro.
That is true. Here, we'll do final thoughts. I always forget final thoughts. James, final thoughts. Go ahead, man.
My first one is I find it kind of funny that I'm the one with the culinary degree and I'm not the one with the cooking segments.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, it actually is. Thank you.
That is your problem there, James.
Neil. How was that burger?
It was okay. It was good after work.
There you go. What's your final thoughts, sir?
I'll read the first arc, see how it feels, and then decide where I go from there.
Yeah. Ryan,
I'll end up buying it anyways.
It's going to be really fun to reviewing 3 issues a month. So I might have to put my video reviews to wait until the arc is over. I'll see how that's going to work. So but, otherwise, I'm constantly optimistic like everybody else, and we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping for the best and to have a good series again.
My final thoughts are I am sad to see Spencer leaving. I suspect this is a bridge, and like several have said, this feels like Survivor's Amazing Spider-Man. 4 shall enter, or 5, I forget what it is.
It's 5.
And 5 shall enter, 1 shall leave, I think what's going to happen. I hope it's not filler. I like the idea of the Mephisto deal being undone. I'm looking forward to reading that story. It's been 10 plus years coming.
I wish I'd gotten to discuss it a bit more, but I'm kind of glad Spencer's going on his own terms. Like I wish he had.
How do you know that? How do you know he wasn't pushed out?
Because he's leaving for Substack.
I don't know. Who knows?
But he's not getting. It's not 10 years. He stayed a good amount of time.
Yeah. I do find it funny that it looks like they're getting engaged again, and they're being like, "Here's the single Spider-Man. It's Ben."
I'm okay with that.
I'm not.
Well, I'm okay with
that note, let's wrap it up. Here we go. Thank you,